Welcome, everyone. This is your friend, the DN What If, here with another exciting fanfiction. Today, we're diving into the story of What If Deku Became a Tech Spy. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fanfiction content just like this. Now, let's get started with the fanfic. The first time Izuku manifested his quirk? It was when he came back from the quirkologist, when no one understood why he didn't show the signs of a quirk. He went straight to the computer, after eating dinner and thanking Inko for it. He touched it minus and got scared for a second, or a minute. What are those green numbers? Letters? Strings? All of the camel case names given to variables all used together to make what seems like a very complicated script to the untrained in what could only be JavaScript. Wait, what? What did he just think? Whatever, this is unimportant. The current moment is scary and actually, it's kind of cool too. He still needs to find a way out, though. He moves around and it looks like the image when the computer doesn't have the video up. He looks up, down, left, right to the corner. Is it the screen? Then he gets out of that strange place. Zuku? Izuku. And he quickly turns around on the computer chair and almost falls along with it to the floor, making his mother literally squeak. Sorry, Mom. It's fine, Izuku. But are you okay? You were looking at the screen and didn't answer. I'm okay. He's not sure if it was actually his quirk, so it can wait, right? He tried again many times. He had to conclude that, yes, this is his quirk. Going into a computer instead of going on a computer. How hard can it be? The only thing that's different is that he doesn't have to use a computer, right? Well, Izuku would tell you no. That's not the only thing different. He recently discovered that he has a character on the screen once he goes on it. And it looks like him. It only happened once that he saw his avatar for 5 seconds after cutting the connection with the computer. Izuku got 2 notebooks. One he uses for hero analysis, the other for his quirk. If he has a unique ability, might as well see what it can do. He still wants to be a hero. With his determination and his bright mind, he'll find a way to use his quirk for heroism. Last-minute update. He has managed to see the computer and the real world at the same time when he is connected. The electronic view is as distracting as can be, though. He'll have to get used to it. Izuku traces a little check mark next to the theory in his notebook and writes down a little note saying that he might have a limit to how far he can be from the computer when he is connected to it. Inko was making dinner when Izuku came into the kitchen, talking like a robot. Smell identified. Searching for Katsudon. He walks slowly to the oven and the stove top, and by extension, Inko. Search for Katsudon, complete. Prepare to be eaten. Inko only laughed, thinking it was a new pretend game of his. Although, the use of words like identifying was pretty worrying, since he doesn't say it very often. Maybe he heard it being used, though, right? What she didn't know is that Izuku presented the effects of a very specific quirk's overuse. At 6 years and 2 months old, Izuku kind of splashed water on the computer while he was connected to it when Inko startled him without willing to. Oops. Cracks easy. Izuku. He severs his connection with the computer just on time. He can't hold off revealing his quirk, now. After Izuku told his mother about his quirk, she told him about booking a meeting with the quirkologist. His answer was no, he wants to know the specifics of his quirk by himself. Inko told him they would still have to get his quirk registered, though. He instead surfed the web for stuff about code. It was how he came to give himself online classes for JavaScript. Of course, for our Izuku, that wasn't enough. He needed to learn other languages. And so he did. At the same time, he learned the specifics of his quirk. He has a page dedicated to it, written down with the quirk an unofficial name for it unless he finds a better fit. Details I know about my quirk. Name, hacker's code. A hacker is someone who changes the code of something to benefit them, though most of the time, or always, it's not with intention to make a nuisance. Use, touch computers, or the mouse, the keyboard, the screen. More things will probably appear soon. To enter them, I don't have to keep touching it to stay connected. I think I have a distance limit. Sign that I'm using it. I know only that I have a little character appearing that looks like me. If water touches the computer while I'm connected to it, I will also be shocked. Although it doesn't hurt much now. The analysis is doing well at the moment. Might have more stuff later, and he's looking to learning more about it. Here comes the day where he'll tell Katsuki his quirk. He has been annoying asking Izuku over and over again to show his unique power if he has one. If he has one. How lucky he was this close to being quirkless. He's dead set now on making sure that the quirkless are happy though. His mother drops him off at school. He looks for Katsuki when he's at the playground. It takes around a minute until it was his friend who found him. Hey Deku. Author. Oh dear god, that nickname. What do I do about it? Izuku turns to look at Katsuki. Hi, Kaken. I have a quirk now. Author. Please don't kill me about how stupid this seems. They're kids, of course they'll be straightforward for the moment. But it can't be anywhere as awesome as mine, your quirk. Katsuki of course just went and dropped the "I have an enormous ego because of my quirk so no one is better than me" card. Well, I'll find a way to use it to attack, you know? I can go into computers, by the way. This is your quirk? You've got to be kidding me. Katsuki exclaims, you can't use it to be a hero. Katsuki, are you an idiot? Izuku came back home a bit sad that day. He'll prove Katsuki wrong on that point of view. He'll prove that his quirk can do more than just getting him connected to computers. And so, he connected himself to a phone. Author, it wasn't all that of a surprise for us, was it? He's 8 years old now. He knows more programming languages. AppleScript, Basic, C++, CoffeeScript, C Shell, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. Those are the languages he knows. Author, I do not know those personally. Only JavaScript, and PHP. And CSS, I think. It's easy to know a bit of them when your dad is a programmer himself though. Off-topic thought, but what does coffee taste like? He shouldn't wonder about that just yet. Too young. He's 9 years old, discovering he can connect to any and all electronic device. Discovering he can absorb electricity and has developed an immunity to it as well. Izuku found his offensive option. Izuku is 10 years old, overusing his quirk for a simple theory, except that he doesn't talk like a robot this time. The information is too much. Is this called being hyper-aware? And so he has a breakdown from how much information makes the input. He's 12 years old, 1 week away from middle school. He has observed how much less time All Might spends as a hero from the reports on internet. But that's not important right now. He's currently confirming a theory in a small alleyway. Wearing a hoodie and looking like the stereotypical hacker teen or preteen, he touches the camera in the corner, starting a connection with it, and sitting down against the wall. In the electronic world, he walks around files, until finding a clip from 5 hours ago. All Might lands not far from the alleyway and deflates? That was important just now. He looks just like his secretary. Guess he's been playing that role and the number one all along. Hope the government doesn't come after him for knowing that secret. Izuku's having goosebumps just thinking about that possible future. He's 14, currently in middle school, and in class. The students around him are all talking, while he's currently playing around with the distance limit, having left his phone in his locker, and just playing on it. He left the earphones on his phone, so he could hear the sound and see his game. The teacher comes in, and everyone quiets down. Izuku closes the application and severs his connection with his phone. So, you're all third years now, it's time to think seriously about your future. Now, I would hand out all of these, but... He turns around, most students start to activate their quirks. You're all pretty much planning for the hero course, right? He throws the papers in the air, as the students start to woo and wee and wah loudly, still quirks blazing. Now, you all know that you can't use your quirks in class. Teach, don't lump me in with all of those extras. And there goes nitroglycerin plus heat. I'm better than them. The students riot. Shut up, you goddamned extras. Oh, Bakugo, you're aiming for UA, correct? The teacher remembers. Wait, isn't that the #1 school? I hear it has an almost impossible entrance rate this year. Katsuki stands up. I aced the mock exam, I'm the only one capable of even setting foot in that place. I'll surpass even All Might. That you will, Kaken, Izuku thinks. Honestly, it won't be too hard for Katsuki to beat All Might. The number one is near retirement, in Izuku's opinion. Heck, Katsuki won't even have time to actually beat the hero. Don't let what was said just now determine if Izuku's still a fan of All Might, because he is. The fanboyism will never change. Oh, Midoriya wants to apply for UA too? The teacher said aloud. Some people laugh loudly, some are quiet. Some snicker and, in Katsuki's case, growl like an enraged dog and explodes Izuku's desk, and our little protagonist here is completely unfazed. Seriously. He saw it coming. Oi, Deku, may I remind you that your quirk is completely useless for it? Hey, Kaken, may I remind you that even heroes need spies? That I could probably find a way to connect to a camera without touching it, just using the air? That I can absorb electricity and basically became immune to it. Izuku. Keep your sass in check. I didn't know half of these things, and how can you even think you'll get a chance to surpass me? Oh, poor you. I don't have a chance of surpassing you in terms of raw strength, that's for sure. But in personality? Well. Okay, Bakugo Midoriya, go back to your seats. Katsuki is an Anjiri Pomeranian. The fight from this morning made the news. Yes, he yet again connected to his phone and played with the distance limit, except he found a way to push the electronic world out of his view and still be connected. I should probably go and write it down at home. He goes to put his hero analysis, for the future, V.13 in his backpack, when it's snatched. What you got there, Katsuki? One of the currently a-holes lackeys asks. Katsuki shows them the notebook. Hero analysis for the future? Midoriya, are you serious? The other lackey says. He's not all that useless, so no Deku. Yes, I am. Would you please hand it back to me, Casey Dash? Oh, please leave it alone Dash. Katsuki throws it out the window. And yes, Izuku is basically tearing up a bit now. Where did his confidence from earlier go? Give up that. You have no chances of being a hero with that weak quirk of yours. Katsuki did not learn that he's wrong about that amazing power, apparently. Izuku goes out of the school, yes he retrieved his phone, and to the little koi pond, to find his notebook that getting eaten by fish. This isn't food, you idiots. He takes his notebook and goes through the pages. Huh, it's still readable. Guess I was lucky. Take that, Kaken. And please don't explode any of my notebooks, or yet alone throw them into water ever again. He thinks about stuff on the way home and goes into an underpass. He's snapped out of his thoughts when he hears some sort of gurgling sound from underneath him. The sewer cover plate thing, how is that called? Please help this author. Update from hours in the future, manhole cover, is thrown off when some goo thing gets out of it. Izuku looks behind him. A size M meets suit. Perfect. Stay still, kid. The goo thing throws itself at Izuku, and the boy tries to flee but it still catches him. It will only hurt for 45 seconds. It started choking Izuku, the boy desperately trying to claw off the sludge. You're gonna be my hero. Words are said, but Izuku's too busy trying to, survive, that his brain doesn't register what is said. A strong wind blows apart the sludge, freeing Izuku's ways of breathing. It goes dark. For a second. Hey, tap, hey Dash, tap tap, is there someone in there? He opens his eyes. Good. That was quick. That All Might? Was Izuku's thought. To outsiders, he screamed and backed off at least 10 feet away from the gigantic hero. Seriously, All Might is like 7 feet. He towers over literal towers. Well, maybe not, but still. The giant. You seem in good shape. That's a good thing. You see, I was chasing that villain when doing my groceries, but he kept slipping away. Random booming laugh characteristic of All Might. Boom, boom, boom. I said booming after all, didn't I? All Might is front of me. Oh my god, it, I have to get in. Autograph Dash. Izuku pats the asphalt ground for his notebook, and finding it he flips to a random page. All Might. See, can I get Y Dash? His call went unheard when the hero suddenly started jumping to the sky. Almost. What do you think you're doing, boy? All Might, don't shove this boy from your leg. Please. Tashinori is a little surprised. No, baffled. This boy clung to his leg when he jumped. He's just a fanboy, right? A really big one. Naturally, or as natural as can be for Tashinori, his first reaction was panic. What do you think you're doing, boy? He screeched, exclaimed, trying to shove the green-haired, green hair? teen off his leg. If you shove me, I'm gonna die. The fanboy yelled, his skin flapping around due to the wind. Oh, please hide your face from the wind, then. The boy does as told, and Tashinori looks around for a building to land on. He coughs up blood, which signals that he's near his limit. They land on a building, and Izuku takes a minute to catch his breath. Oh my god, that was terrifying. Why did I do that? 2 near-death experiences in under 30 minutes, maybe even under 15. What's wrong with me dash? He remembers why he jumped in the first place and realizes that it was stupid crazy. So, he gets up and approaches All Might. If you talk to the people in this building, I'm sure they'll understand and happily lead you to the exit. Now, duty calls me. The hero says. Wait. I want to apologize. Izuku steps closer to the hero. I don't know what made me do this, and I just now realize that I'm making you be even more late B, but I'm so sorry for both the first thing and the law dash. Skillmate. Izuku yelps, but doesn't seem too surprised. Idiot. He has a time limit. You should have let him go. How? How did you know? Skillmate. Oh shoot. He said that out loud. My quirk? An analysis quirk? No, it's not. Can you just... No, let me rephrase that. Can I please get an autograph? Also, it's been around 3 years since I first knew, and I never put it on internet, since if I did so, the people would doubt your capability symbol off peace and dash. Whoa. Calm down. I have no doubt you're capable of keeping secrets, really? So after I give you the autograph, may as well sit down and tell you the whole thing since you already know about this power down of mine. Don't you mean skeleton? You don't have to. I'm fine just knowing about the time limit. Izuku hastily replies, I just dash. A familiar boom, although he does not quite know why, resonates in the distance. Well, that will have to happen later, boy. I have to bring the villain to the police, All Might says. Oh hey All Might. See you? That might not happen. I never said anything dash. They both go their own way. And both come to the same place. One is blaming themselves while the other also does that, but they are still thinking about the situation and the time. Izuku is hoping a hero suited for this kind of situation will come soon. He watches the scene in front of him. He's releasing excess electricity that he accidentally absorbed from the computer this morning on the backpack straps which he's gripping tightly, in stress. Please hold on. A hero is going to save you. Then he meets his childhood friend's eyes, which is the hostage, and he runs in. Kid. Hey. Don't run in, it's dangerous. What am I doing? What can I do to give him a second to breathe? He remembers his backpack and takes the electricity back, then throws the bag just under the sludge villain's eyes, just on top of Katsuki's head, cutting off the top, giving Katsuki time to breathe. Katsuki coughs as he gasps for breath. Around him, the sludge falls to the ground, since the eyes are away from it, and slowly tries to go back to its missing organ. The heat around Izuku is almost suffocating. Katsuki is an idiot. Deku. What the F dash? I didn't dash. Izuku won't bother arguing with him. He grabs Katsuki's arm and pulls it, getting a shout of anger from the blonde, and runs off with him, just as the villain's liquid body reforms and All Might comes to stop it, with a really big gust of wind. Izuku gapes at All Might. Isn't he past his time limit? Isn't that going to make his time shorter? God, I feel bad. This happened because of me. The paramedics come and take Katsuki. Some heroes scold Izuku for his reckless actions, one also praising his quick thinking but going back to scolding soon after, while the ones around Katsuki do what would be normally raising the angry blonde to a higher pedestal if he wasn't already angry of getting saved by Deku. After more scolding and a small interrogation, Izuku makes to go home. Do you? Oh no. Izuku turns around to look at Katsuki. What happened today? It didn't happen. Got that? I didn't need your help. I was perfectly fine on my own. The confidence that was there earlier on this school day comes back full force. What do you mean? Choking on sewer sludge. Katsuki flinches as though Izuku dealt a physical blow to his pride. Frick. You idiot. You didn't save me, okay? That's it. The Pomeranian turns around to go back to his own home, or maybe his lackey's. Izuku sighs, smiling for no reason. He goes to his own home as well, when All Might suddenly appears in front of him. I am here. All Might. Weren't. Izuku looks between the hero and the path he just appeared from. Weren't you trapped by those reporters just now? I was able to be done with them in no time. Because, after all, I am all me dash. He spews blood as he deflates, and Izuku almost screams. All Might takes a moment to compose himself. So, young Midoriya dash. Sorry for interrupting, but how do you? I heard it in the interrogation earlier. Anyway, as I was trying to say, I have come with an offer. Am I getting your autograph? Oh, you angel. Yes, but I'm offering something else. But first, let me tell you. Most well-known heroes have stories from when they were in middle school. When asked, they say their bodies moved on their own. That's what happened to you, isn't it? Izuku sobs a bit. Holy crap, All Might is telling me that I can be a hero? Is that it? He nods. That's kind of a surprise. I hope it won't happen twice though. I can't let it get to my head. Well, in that case, I believe you can become a fine hero. Don't cry, don't cry, don't a small whale. Dang it. I also believe you can be my successor. What? All Might explained his quirk, one for all. The fact that it was passed down from generation to generation. That it was kept secret. Izuku generated a mutter storm which made All Might sputter. Now, in the present. So, what's your decision? Izuku thought about it. He thinks about it again. Fin. He thinks about how this will affect him. A quirk of raw strength might not be ideal for what I want to be, that is, an underground hero. My quirk works best if someone doesn't know the specifics, a bit like Eraserhead's, except I'm not obliged to keep my quirk hidden. However, if I accept All Might's offer, I can only be a daylight hero, since the quirk is really flashy, so my answer will be. Trying to keep his voice steady, he answers All Might's question. Sorry, All Might. He bows down to the hero. From the moment I knew the specifics of my quirk, I started thinking about it. And I have long since decided to be an underground hero, but not only that, also a spy. All Might sputters at the last word, but before he can say anything, Izuku straightens and adds, because they are also needed in the hero world. It will be useful when the more popular heroes can't get a hit in a team of villains. The number one hero standing before him stays silent before saying, It's a good idea, young Midoriya. However, how does the idea of training your body sound like? If you're going to be a hero, you might as well put more muscle in that scrawny body of yours. Hey, it isn't that bad dash. All Might looks him up and down. No insult, but I'm afraid it is. So when can I get your autograph? Oh, right. The next day, Izuku gets up early by accident. He searches more programming languages to learn, and decides to pick up on Python, Node.js and jQuery. He starts learning Python, and the clock hits time to meet All Might for a bit of strength training. I still can't believe All Might saw fit to train me. Although it would have been maybe more awesome if it was Eraserhead. Izuku ran the way to Dagoba Beach. He doesn't really know why All Might wanted him to go to a beach of all places, but he can't really question it. He arrives at the beach, which is filled with hundreds of thousands of garbage. People are evil to our planet. Look at those literal mountains. All Might is nowhere to be seen. Never mind. The man is there in his buffed down form, and tells him that he'll have to clean a part of this beach to build up a bit of strength, which completely baffled Izuku. Well, at least he'll help make this place beautiful once again, right? So might as well clean the entire beach. On one of the days off, he decides to go for a walk outside, just to see other people. And maybe to run. No, this is a day off, Izuku, he told himself. He still ran. At one point, he found a park in another neighborhood. Did I get lost? He asked himself at one point. and took a seat on a bench next to a boy with wild purple hair. The boy looks like he got dragged out his grave. Izuku just touches his phone and splits his view between the real world and the electronic one. He suddenly decides that it is a good idea to turn up the volume while not touching the phone, and then you have the music of Plants vs. Zombies playing loudly. Mr. Insomnia just looks at him. He then lowers the sound. Then turns it up again. Lower. Turn it up. Lower. Turn it up. Purple hair softly says, "What the F dash?" And honestly, that's accurate. Izuku just laughs a bit, lowering it a final time. Then he gets the brilliant idea to introduce himself. I'm Midoriya Izuku. Purple hair looks at him like he just grew 2 more heads, which isn't all that wrong considering how Izuku feels right now, Shinso. So, what are your goals? If you don't mind me asking. I just know that, well, entrance exams are coming in around 9 months now, and it would be nice to talk about my dreams to someone else other than Kaken. Izuku feels like he's going to die. That stare. He thinks he just got buried alive. After a moment of silence, Shinso answers, I'm planning on going to UA. Oh, I'm also planning on going there. Although I'm currently training to have more muscle since. Izuku just gestures at himself. I don't look like much and I am not much. So, you're telling me that you are unprepared? Shinso deadpans. No, it's not like that. I just have been a bit dumb and only practiced the only offensive way of using my quirk I found. That makes you unprepared, I think, Izuku. Right. Oh, what is your quirk? If you don't mind me asking. Shinso looks at Izuku like he feared this moment would come. Oh, maybe I'll go first then. Basically, I can connect to any device and take control of them. Which is why you didn't see a phone in my hand when I was lowering and turning up the volume. I think I have a distance limit. I haven't found it because I've never been far enough from any device to actually find the limit. I can absorb some of the electricity from a device, so yes, I can empty the battery of a device. And I can use the electricity, so I can charge it. I want to be a underground spy hero dashed. Wait, underground spy hero? Shinso asks. Yeah, Izuku exclaims, the hero world also needs their own spies. Shinso looks at him for a moment longer. You don't want to be the best? It's Izuku's turn to stare at Shinso. No, I just want to help. I almost got diagnosed quirkless, so for the quirkless ones that see me, I hope they'll know that with enough training they can do anything. That will be one of my ways to help. I also want to make sure we have enough information on villains to conduct an attack, so we can, not have difficulty taking them out. Izuku pauses. It must be boring hearing me talk. My quirk is brainwashing. Shinso hunches on himself a bit. I can take control of anyone who answers me. That's so cool, Izuku says with pure excitement. Huh. Hitoshi would have never thought his day would end up being a decent one. Some random guy, who he later learns is named Midoriya, sits next to him on a bench, lowers and turns up the volume of his phone, which isn't in his hand. Learns the guy wants to be an underground hero. A spy. Learns the guy absolutely loves to talk about quirks. Learns the guy actually isn't scared of his Hitoshi's quirk, which is to take control of others when they respond to him verbally. Hitoshi watches as Midoriya goes on about all the possible applications for his quirk which all his life he has been treated like a villain for. You could make sure that the villain doesn't have a weapon. If he has one dash, make them surrender dash. It would work better for underground work, though. Dash. Capture weapon like Eraserhead voice changer, need to learn some martial arts because just the quirk won't be enough, since what if a villain knew better than to respond? Dash. Yeah, that would be a problem. Of course, the dumber ones would be easier for you to take care of with your quirk, especially the sassy ones, but you still need training. So, if you want to get in UA, I suggest you train with me daily or weekly. What? Yeah. Midoriya exclaims. We'll spar. Also, we'll have to be prepared to help people, Being a hero is to help others, not beating up powerful villains. Hitoshi can't help but smile a bit at this. I'm in. Midoriya beams. Oh shit, this sky is too bright. Where are my sunglasses? The next day, Izuku asks All Might over text if he can stay in his skeleton true form. When the hero asks him why, he just says that he's bringing a friend to help them get into UA. Toshinori smiled when he saw Izuku's answer. What a spirit this boy has, huh? Izuku then goes back to the neighborhood he went in yesterday and finds Shinso again. They are here right now. Izuku approaches his new friend, who merely says, "Hey." "Hello." Izuku exclaims, "Ready for the first day? Why else would I be awake at 7 a.m.? Shinso asks, raising an eyebrow. "There's plenty things to be doing at that hour, actually, so I couldn't have been too sure," Izuku tells Shinso. "Now, please follow me. We're going to Dagoba Beach." "Isn't it that one place filled with garbage?" Izuku beams at him. "We're cleaning it." Shinso blinks. "Say what now?" "Ah, hello young Midoriya." All Might greets, in his powered-down form of course. Wait, what name will All Might give Shinso? What should I call him? Maybe this is a bad idea after all. What do I do if I have to send Shinso back to his home? "Is this your friend behind you?" "Via." Izuku gestures to Shinso. Purple friend takes a bit of time to actually get the hint, and when he does, he introduces himself to All Might. "What's his name? What do I call him?" "Nice to meet you, young Shinso. My name is Yagi Toshinori." All Might, or rather Yagi-sen, smiles. Or as much a smile he can do in this form. Holy shoot, is this really his real name? If it is, then I know All Might's real name, and then ensues internal screeching, because Izuku is a fanboy. "Likewise," Shinso says with a nod. "Author, I had to search de meme en anglais on Google because I knew there was a word ending in ise, or something around that sound, and it wasn't same, and I didn't want to give up on this story like I usually do for every other story, so I was freaking out. Now, if you have really come here to clean this beach and built physical strength, start. No slacking off." "Yes, sir." It has been months now. 3 more until the entrance exams for UA. Today is one of the days where Izuku doesn't bring Shinso, mostly because of secrets due to Yagi's, or All Might's, hero identity and quirk. Yagi told him he's going to present him to his successor, which he has now found. Izuku is really excited. So Izuku didn't bother trying to brush his mess of a hair even a bit after taking a shower, took breakfast, and rushed out of his house, on his way to the usual spot called Dagoba Beach. Once he arrives, he scans the area and finds All Might in his powered-down form, along with someone else. Must be his successor. Izuku walks towards them, and recognizes who that person is. "Oh, I saw him in the second-year sports festival. That's Togata Mirio. His quirk, premiation, lets him become intangible. That's a really awesome quirk. Maybe I can ask for an autograph?" Togata laughs. "Of course I can give you it." Did I say that out loud?" "Yep." Togata replies. Izuku winces. "Oh shoot. Well, since you already seem to know who he is, then introduce yourself, my boy." All Might tells Izuku. Oh, right. I'm Midoriya Izuku. Nice to meet you, Togata." Izuku bows. "Nice to meet you too, Midoriya." Togata happily exclaims. "Now, how about we both clean this beach together today? I heard you usually do it with your friend, but since he isn't there today, maybe I can help instead," he offers. "Oh no. You don't have to, Togata. I insist." Toshinori watches as young Midoriya and young Togata work on cleaning the beach, almost with equal amounts of enthusiasm, one's fueled by nervous energy. Both are working towards the goal of giving this beach its past beauty. They will surely become fine heroes. Author almost cries, "Oh Toshinori, you have no idea what will happen." Izuku breathes heavily. Done. Beside him, Shinso lets himself fall on the sand, and Izuku quickly follows. The two friends just look at each other for a moment, then Izuku starts laughing a bit, while Shinso just snorts. "You almost did the drama queen there," Shinso forces out. "I did not." "Yes, you did." I sensed a, finally, not a hunt. It's a normal reaction. Shinso ignores Izuku. "Ready for the entrance exam?" Izuku smiles. "Yeah." It's the day of the entrance exam, and they have finished cleaning this beach. They hear footsteps not far from them, and they get up to see Yagi walking towards the two of them. He looks surprised, and he should be. This is... He seems to force himself not to buff up in front of Shinso, before continuing, "This is incredible." Izuku just beams. They're in front of the gates of UA. Izuku and Shinso are in the uniforms of their respective schools, standing before the school, soon about to pass or fail the practical. "No, we're definitely going to breeze through the exam. Stop being pessimistic, Izuku." He slaps his cheeks. "And they're going to pass the written as well. Earlier, they passed by Katsuki, but that guy doesn't matter." "Come on, let's move," Shinso prompts him as he advances in front. "Rewrite." Izuku hastily replies, taking a step towards his dream school, and tripping on his shoelace. "This is it, this is the end. Goodbye world, I hope you miss me." The broken nose never comes. Instead, he's suspended in mid-air, trying to comprehend the situation, as this is quite unusual, to suddenly lose the familiar feeling of the weight of your own body. He tries to move, actually being scared. "Are you okay?" A feminine voice asks. "I'm sorry for using my quirk on you without asking, but it would be sad to fall on the day of entrance exams." After helping him get into a standing position, she releases her quirk. "Let's do our best in the exams." Izuku can't think of anything to say. "I will see you in our future class." He's not thinking of anything really. He just can't think. Ahead of them, Shinso seems to enjoy Izuku's suffering of not being able to think, without being actually aware of what is happening. Then the girl leaves, and Izuku stays there for a moment before running to catch up to Shinso, who just snorts and breathes a laugh. "Stop, I couldn't think of anything, it was horrible." "That's called being a teenager, Midoriya." "It is." Agreed. For all you examinee listeners tuning in, welcome to my show today. Present Mike exclaims, "Everybody say hey." He turns to the side, putting a hand near his ear as if he expects an answer. Silence. What a refined response, the hero shakes. "Then I'll quickly present to you the rundown on the practical exam. Are you ready?" The eccentric guy asks. "Yeah." Silence. "Oh my god, it's the voice hero, Present Mike. Wow. I listen to him every week on the radio. I'm so moved. All the teachers at UA are pro-heroes." Izuku quite literally squeaks out like the fanboy he is. "Shut up." Katsuki hisses. As it says in the application requirements, the showman-like hero continues, "You listeners will be conducting 10-minute mock urban battles after this. You can bring whatever you want with you. After the presentation, you'll head to the specified battle center, okay?" Izuku and Katsuki check their cards. Silence. I feel bad for Present Mike. We are so nervous we can't answer him with equal amounts of enthusiasm. Okay. Katsuki looks at Izuku's card. "In other words, they won't let you work with your friends, huh?" he growls. Izuku freaks out. He looks at Katsuki's card. "You're right. Even though our numbers are consecutive, we're assigned to different battle centers." "Don't look, I'll kill you." Izuku freaks out again. "Now I can't crush you." Heh. Why is he so scary? Present Mike continues his explanation of the exam. 3 different types of foe villains are stationed in each battle center. You earn points for each of them based on their level of difficulty. Your goal, dear listeners, is to use your quirks to earn points by immobilizing the foe villains. Of course, attacking other examinees and any other unheroic actions are prohibited. "May I ask a question?" a boy some ways in front of Izuku asks. "Okay." Present Mike says, allowing the boy to talk. The boy is holding up a paper. On the printout, he points to the paper. There are 4 types of villains. If that is a misprint, then UA, the most prominent school in Japan, should be ashamed of that foolish mistake. He quite literally yells. "We examinees are here in this place because we wish to be molded into exemplary heroes." The boy turns around to point at Izuku. "In addition, you over there with the curly hair?" Izuku points to himself as if to say, "Me? You've been muttering this whole time. It's distracting. If you're here on a pleasure trip, Then you should leave immediately. Instead of doing like in canon, muttering an apology, that weird confidence that took over him 2 times before comes back mid-force. I'm sorry, but you are yelling and you didn't really think about the fact that present Mike might soon come to talk about the 4th robot, did you? There are snickers around. Katsuki gapes at him. A few ways down, Hitoshi snorts. Present Mike looks like he wants to laugh. Okay, examinee number 7111, thanks for the great message, but like 2234 said, I was coming around to that point. The 4th type of villain is worth 0 points. That guy's an obstacle, so to speak. There's one in every battle center, an obstacle that will go crazy in narrow spaces. It's not impossible to defeat, but there's no reason to defeat it either. I recommend that you listeners try to avoid it, Present Mike declares. Thank you very much. 7111 bows, please excuse the interruption. He sits back down. That's all from me, the hero exclaims, like he does all the time. Finally, I'll give you listeners a present, our school motto. The hero Napoleon Bonaparte once said, a true hero is one who overcomes life's misfortunes, go beyond. Plus ultra. Which Izuku did as well. Oh, finally I heard another voice. Well now, everyone, good luck suffering. Never did Katsuki think that he'll see Midoriya, Deku, Izuku become a SAS master. It has been 3 times. Deku dared talking back to anyone 3 times, what the F dash? Never did Katsuki think that the entrance exam would benefit Deku's weak quirk. Never did Katsuki think that Deku would have a friend. Zombie F should never approach me. Never did Katsuki think. The gate to the battle center is huge. Lucky Izuku, and lucky Shinso as well, the 2 are together. They're surrounded by people who are preparing themselves for the practical. Izuku scans the crowd of people, and sees the nice girl who helped him at, not falling and having a broken nose. As the gates open, he goes to thank her when a large hand is put on his shoulder, startling him. He turns around. Are you trying to disturb everyone at the exam? The boy from earlier says, because she's preparing, and you wouldn't want to be the reason she didn't get in, now do you? Izuku tries to say something but the words don't come out. Why must my confidence go back into its grave when I want to use it? The large guy seems to take his silence as answer. That's what I thought. Start. Present Mike suddenly shouts. Everyone is so surprised that they don't move at first. What? Do you think hero battles have a countdown? Go. Go! Everyone, excluding Izuku, runs into the battle center. Izuku then catches up with the memo and goes in as well. He enters and immediately a 1-pointer tries an assault. He almost doesn't remember to move, but ultimately touches the robot, entering the electronic world. He absorbs some of the electricity, 9 seconds, and releases it completely on the machine, 4 seconds. The machine basically dies, giving him 1 point. They aren't immune to electricity, huh? He then decides to go into buildings because obviously that's where the most robots are. He's still really scared though. He enters a building, and immediately 1-pointer to the right. He decides to just turn it off, and the robot crashes, 5 seconds. This is much easier. And so happens a chain of let's crash robots. 1-pointer, 2-pointer, 1-pointer, 1-pointer. 7 points. 1-pointer, 2-pointer, 3-pointer. He screams, dodging the blow the 3-pointer attempted on him. He then touches the robot, and after playing cat and mouse, has enough time to turn it off. 1-pointer, 1-pointer, 2-pointer. 17 points. Shinso joins him, and they battle robots together. 1-pointer, 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 hey there motherfucker, it's a me, Shinso Hitoshi, and I'm about to dunk you in water, 2-pointer, 1-pointer, 3-pointer, geez I didn't insult your mechanical lineage now, did I, 3-pointer? 1-pointer, 1-pointer. 11 points. Shinso, stay away from me this time, you could get electrocuted. Wait what? A 3-pointer and a 2-pointer die from electricity overload. 5 more points. I was at 20, now I came in like a rocking ball. Or rather, we came in. I only attacked these 2 3-pointers with their 2-pointer cousin's blood. Yo, I'm a bloodbinder. With blood I made 6 more points, I was at 16, now it's 22. 1-pointer, 2-pointer is used in bowling to take out a 3-pointer and 3 1-pointers because Izuku and Shinso work together. Since they took out those robots together, the points are split. 29 points, I'll assume. It was an actual, I came in like a rocking ball, scenario, this time. 26, I think. 1-pointer, 2-pointer. They cleared this building. 32 points? They go outside where there are still surprisingly robots even though other people are there, and immediately get assaulted by the machines. 2 1-pointers and 3 2-pointers are taken out by Izuku, one getting him rescue points because Shinso almost got crushed. 40 points, do I need more? Oh God, please tell me we don't need to get crushed by any more robots. A 3-pointer comes to attack Izuku and he freezes up. Shinso cuts the machine's head clean off, again with a piece of scrap metal. He gets 3 more points to his 36. He had 36 because of robots outside of the building, but also rescue points. Are you okay, Midoriya? Izuku only nods. He shuts down another 1-pointer and 3-pointer, 44 points. When they hear a really loud rumble not far away in the battlefield, accompanied with strong shaking. Izuku and Shinso turn around to see a huge silhouette belonging to what can only be the 0-pointer. Other examinees around them flee, but Izuku is frozen in place. Midoriya, what are you doing? Shinso hisses, grabbing his arm, we have to go, we can get killed. Hitoshi marvels at how he feels the sound coming from Midoriya's arm. Does this guy also conduct sound? Right? Izuku turns to run away when he hears a plea for help. He immediately snaps back to where it came from and sees someone caught under the rubble. Wait, Shinso? What? Izuku points at the one trapped under the debris and immediately takes off, running towards the 0-pointer. Oh, damn it. Hitoshi runs after Izuku to help with whoever he saw. They arrive to the person who's trapped, who seems to be nice girl, and Izuku turns to Shinso, take one of the metal things there, and try to take the rubble off her. I'll make the machine take a few steps back to where it came from. He then immediately goes to the giant robot. Hitoshi sighs. He takes a metal pole and Wasn't your quirk making things float? I can't reach the rock, the girl negates. How about I bring it closer to you so you can make it float or whatever? Izuku enters the electrospace. Electrospace. This system looks different from the other robots. But that's to be expected, this is the 0-pointer. Wait, no time to be thinking about this. He jumps into a file named System and searches for the path for the control file. Come. Found it. Hitoshi looks it over where Midoriya is. He looks like an hologram right now, no time. No time to call him Halleria or Midogram. He continues the rescue of the girl. Electrospace. He finds the file, or not. I got tricked. These are just cat videos and memes. Come to think of it, why was there a file named Aizawa Needs Sleep? Hitoshi is done freeing the girl and now is helping her to flee. Midoriya, come on, what is happening? Electrospace. Oh, this time it's the right one. He changes the program so it makes the 0-pointer take steps backwards instead. He saves the program and severs his connection to see the machine going backwards. Hitoshi was just ways away from the 0-pointer when it starts going backwards. He turned towards the gigantic evil golem thing. Unbeknownst to the two, they get rescue points. Izuku sees all the small details. Izuku hears everything. Izuku smells everything. Izuku feels everything. He's in quirk overuse. It's difficult to concentrate. He barely manages to join Shinso and Nice Girl again. Nice Girl has pink pads on her fingers. She seems to have sprained her ankle. That guy, around 40 meters away from me, has engines in his legs. They seem to not work anymore. The blonde with a belt seems to be in minor pain. Stomach area, maybe? He's non-responsive to Shinsu's questions. Recovery Girl is coming. She's giving out gummies. She heals Nice Girl and is coming towards. But the teachers are in the observation room, judging the practical, which I forgot to mention took place after the written. Author, Wow, I should pay attention to these kind of things more. On one of the screens, Midoriya Izuku or examinee 2234 runs towards the zero-pointer and touches it. Shoyuta is confused. What is that supposed to do? He watches Nedzu's mammalian face morph into one similar to mischievous glee. That seems bad. Why is he like this now? Midoriya Izuku, examinee 2234, quirk, hacker's code. His quirk lets him enter any and all machines that are at least a bit electronic, and when doing as such, giving him the role of root or administrator. He can then control the machine. On screen, the Midoriya kid glows in a way not dissimilar from an hologram. Watch closely. After a few minutes, the zero-pointer starts walking backwards. Shuda's eyes widen a bit so slightly. Aizawa, if he passes this test, how about we put him in your class? I'd like to see if he can enter machines from a distance. I'd also like to see if he's as brilliant as his quirk. Izuku is stressed. They are exigent, so maybe 44 wasn't enough? What happens if I don't pass? Mom will be so disappointed. Inko watches her son smile at his fish. Izuku? 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 He snaps out of it. Izuku, are you okay? You're smiling at your fish? Inko asks, clearly worried. I'm okay, Mom. He takes a large bite of his fish. See? Inko shakes her head, smiling. After eating dinner, he takes his phone and texts Shinso. Did you receive anything yet? Shinso, nope. I'm stressing so much right now. What if we didn't get enough points? This school is for the best of the best. After all, Shinso, hey now, being pessimistic is my eyes a dash. It sounds like his mother is running. She opens the door, and he turns around as she dramatically falls. Izuku. It's here. Shinso. Midoriya, I received it. How about we open it together? You sound like a 15-year-old schoolgirl. Shinso. Well, wouldn't you know that I sure do. Feel like one right now. Come on, let's open it. Shinso wants to do FaceTime. Yes, no. Izuku taps on the green button and Shinsu's face comes on screen, who smiles, or rather grins, and waves the letter that will tell their fate. Sup? What we waitin' for? I have to go into my room first. Do that, I'll wait like the exemplary friend I am. Izuku goes into his room, letter in hand, phone in the other, and goes to his desk. He puts the letter on it. Shinso, you go first. Because ladies first? Izuku huffs a laugh. Just do it. On screen, Shinso opens the letter, and a small disc falls on whatever desk he has. What dash? What dash? And suddenly, an hologram is projected from the disc. On screen is Eraserhead. Hitoshi and Midoriya say at the same time. Shinso Hitoshi, this is the hologram that will decide whether or not you pass the practical, because you did pass the written. You got 36 villain points. That was barely enough. You almost didn't pass. Hitoshi looks down. But, Eraserhead continues, there was a hidden point system that counted rescue points. The name is pretty self-explanatory. The hero that looks like he needs sleep smiles a smile not dissimilar to Hitoshi's own. Your first rescue points were attributed when you prevented a three-pointer from potentially harming your teammate, which we didn't foresee you having. You got 16 rescue points, making you have 52 points. Your second rescue points were given to you when you teamed up, again with Midoriya to rescue a girl. It granted you 30 rescue points, giving you a total of 82 points, placing you second in the entire exam. Hitoshi gapes. Midoriya has gotten silent. You've passed the exam. Welcome to UA, but don't think it will be easy. You could end up in my class. Hitoshi's are wet, but he didn't start crying yet. Also, the girl who you saved came to see us after, trying to give some her points since she thought you might have lost some points because of your little rescue mission. She wanted to trade some. That's all I had to say. The hero on screen grumbles before the projection cuts off. The best? Midoriya, I think you passed too, because if I did, then you certainly did. I'm sure of it. Izuku rips open the letter, a disc also falling out of it. The projection, this time, shows a small nicely dressed mammal. Oh my god, it's Nedzu. Is that the principal? Am I a dog? Am I a bear? Or mouse? Doesn't matter, I'm Principal Nedzu. The bear-mouse-dog thing exclaims, "Hello, Midoriya Izuku. I have come as an holographical projection, a bit like you when you were modifying the files of my zero-pointer." What? You have passed the written exam with flying colors. You had 44 points on the practical, but do I need to mention the hidden point system? If I am correct, Shinso Hitoshi is with you on FaceTime and opened his letter before you, thus you already knew of rescue points before seeing your own results. Is this right? The mammal smiles. What the F dash dot? That's his quirk, high specs. It makes him even more intelligent than a normal human. Back on track. Midoriya, your first rescue points were given to you when stopped a one-pointer from attacking Shinso from behind. You got 12 points, therefore it made a current total of your second rescue points were given to you when you made the zero-pointer walk backwards. That was truly a feat, considering I didn't put the control file in one of the system files, but rather in Aizawa Need Sleep. Shinso chokes on something, maybe his own spit, on the other side of the phone, snorting a few times. You found it quite fast, since you could have gotten distracted by the memes and the cat videos I put. Izuku's friend is full-on laughing now. That sounds like heaven. Anyway, preventing the robot from crushing any unlucky examinees, and the girl granted you 45 points, making your total score a 3-digit number, 101. You are in first place. Izuku squeaks. Shinso is loud. Welcome to your hero academia, Midoriya Izuku. I have taken an interest in you. Izuku shivers. Oh dear God, I got Nedzu's attention. Since I believe Shinso Hitoshi shared his results with you, I don't think I'll have to say why the girl you saved came to talk to us. Well, I'm looking forward to having you in my school, Midoriya. The projection cuts off. I got in. You got in. Izuku hangs up and bolts out his room, rushing to hug his mother. I got in. First place. Inko hugs back, equally as excited as him. My Izuku-in. They both cry puddles of joy that evening. Midoriya hung up on me. Hitoshi stares at his phone in disbelief. Well shite. Itsuki got in. Third place. I got in third place. Some no-name extra took second place, and Deku? He took, no, snatched first place from his DMN hands. That dim nerd. Katsuki's FNG said. 2 students from our school passing UA's entrance exam, and Midoriya in first place no less. That's really amazing. What stupid tricks did you use, huh? Katsuki slams Izuku against the brick wall behind the school. The sass master is back again. I used my quirk and the fact that I help people, Kaken. Katsuki is about to catch a fly with his open mouth. The surprise bought Izuku a moment to flee and go back home. Thank you, sassy confidence. Izuku, did you tie your tie? Yes, Mom. Did you take your bento? Yes, Mom. And your hanky? Yes, Mom, I'm gonna be late if you keep me like this. Her son steps towards the door. Izuku. He sighs, turning towards her. What? I love you, you're really awesome. Inko looks down, smiling if the slight pulling sensation is anything to go by. Don't forget that. Izuku stays. Silent for a moment, then smiles. He nods. I won't forget, I love you too, Mom. He then goes out the door with a bye and closes it behind him. Inko still is smiling, tearing up. My baby is all grown up. I'm so proud of you, Izuku. Shinso waited for him by the gate. Izuku catches up to him and basically jumps in place due to excitement and nervous energy. Hey, Midoriya. Hi Shinsu. The brainwasher winces. Okay, calm down, take a few breaths, because that was a lot of stuttering. Then Shinso looks Izuku up and down, finally fixing his eyes on a specific point, and learn how to tie a tie. Izuku was calming down when the sentence about his non-existent tie-tying skills was said. Hey, I don't think I did that bad. Haha, say what you want, Midoriya. Shinso deadpants. Izuku huffs, doing a little pout and crossing his arms. How about we find our class? Shinso blatantly ignored Izuku. Alright. We are in 1A, Izuku reminds himself. We should start searching for it. A few wrong turns later, and still not having found 1A, Izuku stops near one of the camera spots. Shinso turns around to see Izuku slapping the air near the camera. What are you doing? I'm testing two theories, Izuku responds. One is to be able to connect to devices without touching it, and the other is to use a device to connect another. He slaps the air one more time, and whoops. In other words, I might be able to get the UA map, with another theory being I can project images. Shinso stares at Izuku in disbelief. Why didn't you say this earlier? Izuku nervously laughs. I was so nervous I forgot about my quirk. Shinso lets out a long-suffering sigh. Nice, now we are going to be late. Electrospace. Come on, find the biggest nearest device. Come on. There it is. He connects to a faculty member's computer. What the heck? Yamada Hisashi is in the faculty room on his computer when some sort of character appears on the screen. It looks like a boy with green hair and eyes, and his pupils must represent a power button. The character seems to notice him, and a speech bubble appears. Hello. I'm Midoriya Izuku, quirk, hacker's code. My friend Shinso Hitoshi and I got lost on the way to our class, since we somehow forgot both of our paper versions at home. I'm searching for a map so we can get to one. Can you help us? Hisashi. The kid is adorable. He looks at the screen again, and Chibiuya climbed on the window of the notepad application and is now swinging his little legs. Hisashi types out an answer. Of course I can help you, I'm a teacher after all. Hisashi searches for the map in his files, then opens the picture. Chibiuya taps on it, and a small option thing opens. Since narrator and Hisashi have no idea what pronoun to use for the character, claps his little hands and another option appears, hacker's code. Another speech bubble appears. I'll have to change that name later. I don't want to reveal my quirk to everyone all the time. Hisashi snorts. Chibiuya taps on the option and the map disappears. Thank you. Hin then disappears as well. Hisashi will have one hell of a story to tell. While all that happened, they tried to find Class 1A without the use of a map. Hitoshi watches as Midoriya puts a hand in front of him, palm up, and suddenly a floating hologram appears, which seems to not be affected by the lightning around them. The map of the school is there, and they manage to arrive around 4 minutes before the actual start of class. Please don't let those two be there. Please don't let those two be in this class, Izuku internally chants. He's talking about Katsuki and 7111 Engine Boy. Come on, let's go inside, Midoriya. Shinso tells him. Rewrite. Izuku opens the door, and immediately they hear yelling. Please put your feet off the desk. 7111 shouts to the blonde, cutting the air with his hand. Don't you think it's disrespectful to the UA upperclassmen who once owned it and the ones who made it? Nope, Katsuki replies. What junior high did you go to, you side character? 7111 seems to calm down. I'm Ida Tenya, a semi-graduate. Semi? You're an elite then, huh? Looks like I'll have fun crushing you. Katsuki growls. Crushing? That's cruel. Do you truly aim to be a dash? Just my luck, but Ida doesn't seem so bad. I'm more worried about Kaken. They seem to finally notice the two standing by the door, and Ida walks over to Izuku. Hello. I'm Ida Tenya Dash. I know, Izuku tells him, nervous. Ida doesn't seem to care, however, as he bows down and declares, he looks to Shinso, and you too, have figured out something I could not in the exam, and for that, I terribly misjudged you. What is happening? I didn't really figure out anything. Is it about the rescue points? Izuku asks. Yes, that is the thing I never thought about once in the exam, Ida affirms. No one could have known about it. I only helped because that's what anyone would do. Not really, Shinso pipes up. Oh, it's you too. A pretty familiar voice sounds from behind them. You two helped me get away from the big robot. Izuku turns around and sees, nice girl, standing in the doorway. His mind doesn't go blank like last time, now. Oh, finally that effect didn't happen. I forgot to thank you, she says as she looks at him. Also forgot to thank you for not letting me have a broken nose. She laughs. I was almost worried that you were angry at me for using my quirk on you. Izuku's eyes widen. What? Anyone should be thankful someone stopped them from getting Gabrokeno's dash. His voice raised in pitch as he saw some kind of giant yellow caterpillar just outside the door. Be behind you, he screeches. Shinso and Nice Girl spin around to see the thing, and the latter also screams. The thing turns around and it just so happens to be some kind of man. If you're here to make friends, come again. He takes a juice pouch and seks it all up in one go. He then gets out of his sleeping bag and enters the room. It took you 8 seconds to stop talking. That's too long. 8 seconds could get you killed in the hero world. Everyone looks at him in confusion. I'm your homeroom teacher, Aizawa Shoyuta dash. Wow, the name of that file wasn't wrong. You do look like you need sleep, Izuku realizes, saying it out loud. Everyone stares. I said that out loud, didn't I? Shinso snorts. Back on track, Aizawa says. You'll refer to me only as Aizawa-sensei. Do otherwise and things will happen. He pulls out gym uniforms from his sleeping bag. Put these on and join me outside on the field. A quirk apprehension test? Most students echo. But, Aizawa-sensei, what about the entrance ceremony? The orientation? Nice Girl. Author, at this point, I'm taking lines directly from the sub. If you are going to become a hero, you don't have time for such leisurely events. Aizawa answers. UA's selling point is how unrestricted its school traditions are. He turns around, back facing the group of students. That's also how the teachers run their classes. He turns to them once more. You kids have been doing these since junior high, too, right? Aizawa asks. He gets out some kind of phone with a menu. Physical fitness tests where you weren't allowed to use your quirks. The country still uses averages taken from results from students not using their quirks. It's not rational. I mean, they probably do it so some students don't have unfair results, right? Well, the Ministry of Education is procrastinating, Aizawa continued. Bakugo, said Blonde looks at him. In junior high, what was your best result for the softball throw? Katsuki thinks about it, 67 meters 219 feet 8 inches. Then, try doing it with your quirk, the teacher says. They go to a part of the field and Aizawa tells Katsuki to go in the circle. You can do whatever you want as long as you stay in the circle. Hurry up, give it all you've got. Then well. The blonde stretches, die. Katsuki shouts, blasting the softball forward. Die. Izuku echoes. Know your own maximum first, Aizawa says, not even looking at them. That is the most rational way to form the foundation of a hero. He shows the result Katsuki got, 705.2 m 2,313 feet 6 inches. Mostly everyone gasp. Mostly. There's the dual-haired one who doesn't, Katsuki and Hitoshi. That's very obvious. 705 meters? Seriously? Another blonde says, one who has an electric bolt-shaped black thing in his hair. What's this? It looks fun. A pink-skinned girl adds. We can use our quirks as much as we want. As expected from the hero course. A guy with big elbows exclaims. It looks fun, huh? Aizawa mutters, just barely audible enough for them to catch it. You have 3 years to become a hero. Will you have an attitude like that the whole time? Izuku opens his mouth. Alright, whoever comes in last place in all 8 tests will be judged to have no potential and will be punished with expulsion. Huh? Punished with expulsion? That's going a bit too far, no? How am I even going to make it through these tests? And Shinso? How is he going to go through those? Wait, calm down, focus. What can I use for the quirk apprehension? Izuku looks around and spots the yellow-haired boy, which is currently shooting sparks. I found my electric input. We're free to do what we want about the circumstances of our students. Aizawa lifts his head and takes his hair away from his face dash. He smiles so creepily, oh god. He smiles exactly like Shinso. Izuku turns to Shinso. Are they secretly related? Shinso shakes his head, mouthing no. No one reacts to his thoughts, so maybe Purple Friend TM read his mind. Welcome to UA's hero course. This is too huge of a test for the first day of school. Last place will be expelled? Nice girl. Yeah, know what? I will stop calling her that. Let's call her Mother Gravity. Mother Gravity complains, but it's the first day of school. No, even if it wasn't the first day of school, this is too unfair. Author, I am now writing this with popcorn. Natural disasters, big accidents, a flash of realization, and selfish villains. Calamities whose time or place can't be predicted. Japan is covered with unfairness. Heroes are the ones who reverse those situations. If you wanted to go talk with your friends at Mickey D's after school, too bad. For the next 3 years, UA will do all it can to give you one hardship after another. Author, you have no idea. Go beyond. Plus ultra. Aizawa does a come at me bro kind of gesture. He really just did the come at me bro. I don't think he realized it, though, Hitoshi thinks. Overcome it with all you've got. Varying forms of determination appear in each student. All right, demonstration's over. The real thing starts now. Izuku is suddenly happy he brought his smart contacts and not his glasses, now. Yep, he wears glasses. Kinda have to when your quirk is basically about computers and all. Right now, like was said earlier, he has smart contacts. His only source of normal computer use, mainly because his quirk doesn't immediately connect to the contacts. They're also prescription contacts, so that's cool. Plus, no one can really know he has contacts unless they stand close to his face. But no one has done that aside from Katsuki, so. Anyway, he's glad he brought them. He might need them. Plus, if he had taken his glasses, Katsuki could break them and do those cost an arm. All right, demonstration's over, Aizawa said. The real thing starts now. Test 150-meter dash. Many of his new classmates do normal things like augmenting their physical strength or speed. Not Izuku. He slaps the air in direction of the motion sensor and finds a very simple code. Since it records 2 scores before resetting them, it will have 2 different times. He's up against Dual-Haired, who seems more powerful than he, so he will be faster. Izuku changes the code a bit, making that it won't reset after 2 times, and that the second will scream an already recorded line when the second element passes in front of the motion sensor. The start is said, and Dual-Haired seems to have an ice quirk. He slides to the finish line, the sensors saying 3.14 seconds. Izuku comes 3 seconds after, but the robots screech 0 seconds. Author, I finished my popcorn. Author from the future, that was 4 days ago. There's a chorus of what-s among the group of students. Shinso does the closest thing to an actual laugh. Hiding behind his scarf, which looks suspiciously like Eraserhead's capture weapon, Aizawa asks the next match to come. Test 2, grip strength. Izuku looks at the guy with mutated arms, which seem to make new body parts at will, and the result that some seem to be excited about, which is 540.0 kilograms. Then he looks at the grip tester. He just has to do the same thing he did with the 50-meter dash. Modify the code. He sets his result at 1,130 kilograms, which gives him, yet again, the highest score of class. Some of his new classmates look at him like he cheated, to which he says, we're allowed to use our quirks, so I used mine. It's simple. Somewhere not far behind Midoriya, Hitoshi snorts. Test 3, standing long jump. He taps the air at the machine. He, again, sets the code to scream a positive result as soon as the motion sensor stops sensing something. He just walks through it. Cleared sandbox. Shinsu's strategy was way more creative than his, though. He brainwashed Katsuki into blasting him to the other side of the sandbox. It was kind of kamikaze, but it still was a good strategy. Katsuki didn't share that opinion. Test 4, repeated side steps. Both Izuku and Shinso do it normally. Some of the others have quirks they can use to make their score higher. Test 5, ball throw. Hey, Izuku tapped the guy with yellow hair that is literally made of electricity. Mind if I borrow some? Some what? Pikachu 2.0 asks. Electricity. Izuku borrows quite a lot of it. The guy doesn't seem to die. Maybe he died inside, but not outside. He's gaping at Izuku like a fish. Then our favorite hacker basically goes in the circle, throws the ball in the air, while shooting a ray of electricity at it to keep it going. It goes far, so he zooms in with his smart contacts. Hatsum wants to know your location. It eventually catches fire. He could have changed the code of the sensors, sure, but now this one there was too many of them. How would have Mother Gravity scored an infinity otherwise? Unless it was in the ball and he just fried the system? Oops. He scores a 630 meters. Shinso brainwashed Katsuki into doing it for him. Aizawa-sensei? Katsuki wasn't in the circle, one of the students calls. The actual user of the quirk was in the circle, so it doesn't matter, Aizawa answers. Then Katsuki tries to attack Shinso, and it just so happens that their teacher's hero name is Eraserhead. 3 tests later. Here are the results, Aizawa tells them. Everyone is scared out of their minds about what will happen next. Will they get expelled? If not, who's the unlucky one? The teacher shows the results. Izuku doesn't have to search his name, it's the third. He looks at Shinso, who's staring at the last name on the board. His own. But we went all the way to do this, it can't be the end. It can't be the end for him. Shinso looks like he's about to say a biting comment, but Aizawa interrupts everyone's collective thoughts. By the way, I lied. No one's getting expelled. A chorus of what ensues. It was a logical ruse, designed to bring out the best in all of you. Some tall black-haired girl pointed out how obvious it should have been. It wasn't. On his way to lunch, Izuku bumps into someone. Sorry. Izuku exclaims. No one was there. What? The only thing he finds is a note saying N3XXW0R. What? In the cafeteria, Hitoshi waits for Midoriya. Because that's what friends do. All the time. That's all they do. He finally sees green hair around, and that mop comes to the table Hitoshi is at. Hitoshi does an actual salute. Hello, Midoriya stammers. You look even more scared than usual. What's up? Hitoshi asks. Midoriya only gives him a folded note, which Hitoshi evidently unfolds and reads. N3XXW0R. Somewhere, an American 13-year-old kid, homeless, searches for phones to sell which were thrown in the garbage for some dumb reason. The one phone he has in his hands suddenly vibrates, and a voice radiating nervous energy pipes up from it. Hello. XXXZXXXXXN drops it, surprised. He also screams. Hitoshi shakes his head, not knowing what that image came from. What image? So, you're scared of whatever that is? It's more of a feeling. You're probably worrying for nothing, Midoriya. Maybe, Midoriya reluctantly agrees. The next day, they wait for foundational hero studies, basic hero training. They all ask themselves, who will be the teacher of this class? Especially Izuku. Izuku is more than hyped. Besides, doesn't the name of this class mean they'll get to use their hero costumes they submitted? That means he'll be able to see if the support company who makes those listen to his request of a simple electronic device in one of the pockets of the jacket, which is obviously proof of many things. Bulletproof, fireproof, waterproof. When he had requested the electronic device, it was before he tested his theory of, I can access other devices from a device's electrospace, which proved itself to be correct. I am, a very familiar booming voice sounds from the door. Holy crap, it's All Might. Probably was what most people thought, collectively. Coming through the door like a normal person, All Might appears in the doorway in his It's the Silver Age costume. Many people seem to share some of his enthusiasm. Izuku is vibrating. I teach foundational hero studies, hero basic training. It is a subject where you train in different ways the basics of being a hero. You'll take the most units of this subject. The hero basically flexes. Let's get right into it. This is what we'll do today, battle training. Katsuki, who is in the seat in front of Izuku, seems particularly joyful, or as joyful as Katsuki can be, at the idea of battling people, battle. Training, Izuku finishes, pretty scared of the person right in front of him. And to go with that are these. He points at some gray columns in the wall, from which 4 shelves with 5 cases in each come out. Costumes made based on your quirk registrations and requests you sent in before school started. A chorus of excited noise follows that statement, everyone happy at the idea of finally getting to wear them. Costumes? I'll finally get to wear mine. And see if they put the device. After you change, gather in ground beta. Yes, sir. Once they change into their costumes, they go to ground beta. Izuku looks around, amazed by the designs of his classmates' hero costumes. They say the clothes make the man, young men and ladies. Be fully aware. From now on, you're heroes. All Might exclaims in the background. He looks at Kaminari, who has a rather simple outfit. Then at Uraraka, who chose an aesthetically pleasing design. That's great, everyone. You all look cool. Izuku's costume conducts sound unless he takes the cloak out from an inside pocket. It is waterproof, fireproof, bulletproof, knife-proof, etc., except for electricity. Because he needs it for the offensive. He has a mask that looks normal, but it isn't. It has a voice changer in. He has an utility belt, with completely legal stuff. For example, light bulbs, small power banks, and a small device in his vest pocket which he can use to connect to other devices. His top has a black hood, to go unnoticed. Now, shall we begin, you zygotes? It isn't flashy, but if he wants to be an underground hero and spy, it's pretty necessary. He feels kinda bad for not using what his mom made him though. But he needs protection, and there's a chance he'll be paired against Katsuki in the still unexplained exercise, so he doesn't want to wreck what his mother made him. Izuku looks at Shinso. His friend's costume also has a big mask. Then he looks at Katsuki, who like predicted looks murder-y. They all wait for what All Might will say. Now, it's time for combat training. All Might exclaims. Sir. Ida speaks up. Wait, that's Ida? He has such a cool costume. It reminds me of Ingenium. This is a battle center from the entrance exam, so will we be conducting urban battles again? No, the hero responds. We're going to move ahead 2 steps. Most of the time, fighting villains takes place outside, but if you look at the total numbers, atrocious villains appear indoors at a higher rate. For some reason, Izuku is reminded of the sludge villain. Imprisonment, house arrest, backroom deals. In this society filled with heroes, All Might disguises a cough and Izuku winces. Truly intelligent villains hide in the shadows. For this class, you'll be split into villains and heroes and fight 2-on-2 indoor battles. Without basic training? Ajax, this is a real battle to understand those basics, he tells them. However, the key this time is that there's no robot you can just beat up. How will wins and losses be determined? Yaoyorozu asks, and wow if that isn't a slightly illegal outfit to be wearing as an actual hero. Could have put a zipper instead. Can we beat them up anyway? Katsuki asks. Of course he had to be the one to ask that. Will the punishment be expulsion like with Aizawa-sensei? Uraraka is pretty scared. How shall we be split up? Ida questions. Isn't this cape crazy? Aoyama wonders. Basically everyone looks at him in disbelief. All Might sweats. I'll answer all your questions. A random clapperboard can be heard in the distance. Now listen here. All Might holds and opens a book that seems comically small though tiny in his large hands. Izuku zooms into it with his smart contacts for the laughs. I can't believe he has a script. The situation is that the villains have hidden a nuclear weapon somewhere in their hideout. The heroes are trying to dispose of that. The heroes need to catch the villains or get the nuclear weapon back in the allotted time. The villains need to protect the nuclear weapon for the whole time or catch the heroes. The situation feels very American. Teams and opponents will be determined by drawing lots. All Might exclaims as he holds up a box labeled with its use. They're being decided so haphazardly? Ida speaks up again. Pros often have to create makeshift teams with heroes from other agencies, so maybe that's why? Izuku tells him. I see. The discernment to look ahead, Ida realizes, and then bows to All Might. Please excuse my rudeness. The hero turns around. It's fine. He pumps a fist. Let's do this quickly. Uraraka Ochako and Shinso Hitoshi. Shoji Mizo and Todoroki Shudo. Yaoyorozu Momo and Kaminari Denki. Bakugo Katsuki and Ida Tenya. Oh dear. Izuku is pretty scared about what will happen next. Ashido Mina and Aoyama Yuga. Koda Koji and Satorikadu. Midoriya Izuku and Jiro Kyoka. Tokoyami Fumikage and Azui Tiu. Ojiro Mashiaro and Hagakure Turu. Team J. Siro Hanta and Kirishima Ijiro. Izuku looks at Jiro, the girl with earphone jacks on her ears. He nods to her. Depending on who they are fighting, they are either at an advantage or a huge disadvantage. Jiro nods back to him. All Might put his two arms in boxes labeled villain and hero, respectively. The first teams to fight will be. He gets his arms out, crossing them then uncrossing, and shows the two ball, these guys. The villain ball says. G, the hero one. Izuku gulps as he looks at Katsuki, who looks like he'll have fun. This is my death certificate. Goodbye, world. As soon as it was announced that Midoriya and her would battle Bakugo's team, the former looked like he saw death itself. Her teammate then dropped to the floor. Kyoka couldn't admit it in front of his face, but it is pretty amusing watching him panic. Oh, okay, that's it, I'm going to die. The universe hates me. Jiro-ko, could you attend my funeral, please? Nah. Midoriya curls up into a ball, almost wailing. Say, why are you reacting like that? Kyoka asks. Teeth. All Might interrupts them by saying that those who are not fighting have to come with him to the observation room while the teams go prepare themselves. When they arrive to the entrance of the building, and Katsuki's team went to their area, Izuku rebuilds a semblance of composure. We should start by knowing the details about our quirks. Jiro nods to indicate that she is following. I'll go first, Izuku announces. My quirk is Hacker's Code. It allows me to go in any and all devices that are electronic, and also only electric ones, although it's kind of hard. I can slap the air towards a device to connect to something I can't touch directly. I can also connect to a device from another. It also has something I can use for attack. I can take the electricity from a device to use to my own advantage, and I'm immune to it. You are immune to electricity? So basically, you would be the perfect counter to Kaminari. Jiro asks. Yeah. And I am often told that I conduct sound. Jiro coughs. Okay then, this might be easier. My quirk is earphone jack, like what is on my ears, which lets me plug into things to hear whatever is going on, like in a wall. I can also plug into a speaker, which I have. She taps the black things on her legs, that are apparently speakers, here, and project the sound of, well, I can do it with my heartbeat. She looks at Izuku. So is that goo holy sheet? In the observation room, where some people pay attention to the team's strategizing, there's a chorus of woes. Midoriya looks like a hologram right now. Kaminari exclaims. Hitoshi looks at the screen as well. I don't think he knows he is an hologram, maybe a projector but not the projected image. Huh. That was Ashido and she asks, what's that supposed to mean? It might happen in this exercise, Hitoshi answers. Maybe not. You'll see eventually. The pink-skinned girl huffs, seemingly unhappy with the answer. Come on. Waff. Jiro doesn't answer. Why is she silent? Is something happening? Should I be worried? Izuku shakes his head. Doesn't matter. Her and I both got a plan to build. Kakin is going to track us down for certain, Izuku states. We could use your earphone jacks to hear where he is, and we'll combine that by me getting connected to nearby cameras, so we can successfully avoid him. Jiro nods along. If that doesn't work, his teammate twirls the earphone jack around with her finger. It will be time to attack him with my sound. There's that, Izuku agrees, but only partially, but there's also the less time-consuming way of you going on your own when he does find me. Jiro raises an eyebrow, but doesn't ask about it. Instead, she agrees to it. If you say so? Then you could find the floor Ida is on, but we should tell each other what we see. And here maybe? The girl suggests, if we don't go in flying blind, might as well not go in flying deaf. Izuku stares for a moment. Good idea. He gets the blueprint of the building out of his pocket. It's probably on the top floors, so we will be heading that direction. How will we claim the weapon? Jiro asks. Should we do a sneak attack or something? Either I do it or you do it. One will distract Ida while the other goes up to the weapon. Their planning time is cut short by All Might's announcement of the exercise starting. Time to see if that works, Izuku says. It'd be certainly nice if it did, Jiro adds. Jiro put one of her earphone jacks in the wall, and then she is able to approximately locate Katsuki. Forward, first left, forward, end of hallway. Earlier they examined the first floor and second floor map a bit more. Each time they went somewhere, they located themselves on the building's blueprint. Izuku touches the device in his pocket, connecting to other ones. Hey, he's not there. What dash? An explosion followed by a shout of Deku comes from just behind them. The only word Izuku can think of is a toned-down version of a swear word because he's legally not allowed to swear, crap. He nods to Jiro, who runs to the nearest stairs, and then turns around to meet Katsuki. The blonde arrives in front of him and immediately starts with an explosion, which Izuku jumps out of the way of. Izuku then gets a small light bulb out and fills it with electricity, and throws it on the floor in front of Katsuki, except this one blasts it away. Deku, where the F is your teammate, huh? Think you're enough to take me on by yourself? Katsuki taunts, well, newsflash, nerd. You're not. How did he even get to the conclusion that he thinks I'm enough, again? Izuku just stares. Deku answer. I'm not a Deku. Katsuki blinks, and he scowls. What the F does that even mean? I'm not useless, Izuku says, and that's the last warning they both get before they really get it on. Katsuki starts with a right hook, and Izuku takes his arm without much effort, although the effort comes in when he lifts Katsuki in the air and slams him on the floor. The air is completely knocked out of Katsuki. Like I said, Katsuki gets up and rushes at him, and uses his explosions to direct himself in the air so he can take Izuku by surprise in the back, except the latter turns around and uses a bit of electricity on Katsuki. I'm not a Deku. It tastes Katsuki? Or at least, it would if Katsuki didn't immediately get up and push his hand into Izuku's field of vision, launching an explosion as soon as he placed his arm there. Izuku screams, because oh crap, he has contacts. His eyes burn, and everything is pretty blurry. Katsuki smirks. You said? Izuku feels tears rushing from his eyes. His opponent huffs, you cry so demon much. Don't stand in the demon way, Deku. Just let me get it over with dangly ears. His eyes hurt so much. He sees all blurry. He can't help but continue attacking Katsuki. He searches a light bulb, and when he finds it, he puts electricity in and chucks it at the ground, creating fire. He can hear Katsuki's sigh of pure anger. If that's it, then. Izuku then flees to the nearest hallway, and continues moving around aimlessly. He finds a spot far from Katsuki, and taps the earphone, with microphone included, device Jiro and he received for the exercise. Jiro, he breathes out, what's the situation? Ida is just. He hears Ida mimicking a villain. Yeah. How about you? Kaken burned my smart contacts. You could have mentioned having smart contacts. That's 1. 2. Oh shit. And now I see all blurry. He hears Katsuki in the distance, slowly closing in, and checks the cameras by checking them, and sure enough the blonde is soon catching up. I have to do my best to find the stairs, now. Good luck. Thanks, I'll need it. He needed it, and didn't have a chance to use it, at least not completely. He ran a bit and actually tripped on something, and Katsuki was able to catch up. Izuku internally sighs because this is just his day, isn't it? He gets up and turns around, although he uses the nearest camera to see what Katsuki is doing. So, congratulations on breaking my smart contacts. Izuku tries, which was the first thing he thought of as he saw Katsuki's hand inching for the pin on a grenade. I don't want your shitty congratulations, the blonde says as he fully lifts up his arm. Besides, you won't have time to throw another of those after the following explosion. Oh crap, Izuku thinks. I just have to stall for time, then. You know, you could also just use capture tape. That's a coward's way of winning, but it is also the most efficient one. You know, those grenades store my sweat, which is made of nitroglycerin, which is used to make my explosions. Is he boasting like most villains do in TV shows right now? When I pull this pin, Katsuki pauses, it will go boom. Bakugo! Do not pull it. Katsuki continues pulling it despite All Might's protests. Bakugo! Are you listening to me? You're going to be in trouble for potentially killing a classmate. It won't kill him if he dodges. Katsuki counters. Izuku jumps over Katsuki, and the latter aims his grenade at the former. Izuku lands on the floor and runs 5 steps before the explosion blasts through the ceiling. Katsuki turns around, looking at Izuku, who immediately faints from the now overwhelming pain of his burned contacts on his eyes. At the same time, on the floor where the weapon is, the whole distracted Ida, which let Kyoka go and touch the weapon. Hero team wins. All Might exclaims hesitantly. Kyoka can't blame the man for not knowing what to say about this, because, after all, neither does she. Their plan went pretty wrong, and mostly because of the wild card named Bakugo Katsuki. Well, that was a wild ride. The remaining students of Class 1A were all grouped up to watch the explosion and watch the villain team fail, thankfully. Hitoshi feels really bad for Midoriya. At least he won, and Bakugo, the shouty blonde, didn't. It might hurt Bakugo's pride, but it certainly does fill most of what Hitoshi wanted. He wanted Karma to finally visit Midoriya's childhood friend-turned-enemy, and it did, and he couldn't ask more. Now, all he has to wait for is for Midoriya to wake up and check if his confidence has had any damage, because if it did, then he'll be suing Bakugo, not the green-haired boy, whose smile shines like a freaking sun. Seriously, he needs colorblindness glasses because, as said in the name, he became colorblind. And he has Midoriya to thank for it. For the moment, he'll just watch cat videos and Vine compilations. And check the newest memes. At least, until his match comes. His match came and it was against Team C. Team C, which is Yaoyorozu and Kaminari. Creation quirk and electricity quirk, respectively. Kaminari will be easy to force a response out of, he thinks. As for Yaoyorozu, he's not sure. But he has a voice changer, so it should be fine. Izuku wakes up, and the first thing he notices? Blurriness. Everything is blurry. Didn't I have my contacts today? Where are they? If I can't find them, I'll have to go find my glasses in my bag. What even happened? Then he remembers. They're broken. Izuku almost cries. Mom is going to kill me. He sits up, and immediately the curtain, is that a curtain? Gets pulled back, and what seems to be a human stands there. Oh, Midoriya Izuku, you're awake, greets a familiar, old woman's voice. What? Take the gummies, and then, the old lady seems to be taking a breath after handing him the gummies. Explain me why you didn't request contacts from the support company instead of taking your own, why don't you? That's Recovery Girl. Then the implications of this situation catch up to him. Oh God, I angered Recovery Girl. So sorry for angering you, Recovery Girl, he immediately apologizes. I probably won't forgive you, young man, Recovery Girl scolds. Just explain me why you didn't request contacts. Izuku thinks about a reason, an honest one, and comes up with none, so he just says, I have no reason, he confesses. I'm sorry, Recovery Girl, it won't happen again anytime soon. Recovery Girl sighs deeply. Just this once? Just this once, Izuku affirms. Recovery Girl seems to be shaking her head. I made your friend Shinso bring you your backpack earlier. You won't be able to go around without your glasses, she tells him. I'm keeping my eye on you. Yes, of course, Izuku responds, stuffing the gummies in his mouth, as he localizes his bright yellow backpack and goes to shuffle in it. It takes a long more time than it would if he had contacts, but he eventually finds his glasses and puts them on. They are black round glasses, and to avoid confusion, it's not the glass that is black. It's the rims, or frames. Depends on where you come from. He hears knocking at the door and turns around just in time to see Shinso, who takes a look at him immediately. Shinso smiles and snorts, nice glasses, fits you. Izuku beams. Thanks. The moment he came back into class, wearing his pair of round black glasses, you could say that many of the more easily excitable members of the class buzzed with panicked worrying, or indifference. Midoriya, man, Kirishima greeted, We were worried to no ends after what happened with Bakugu. Yuum. Here comes Izuku and his classic nervous energy seeping into his speech. Are those glasses? Ashido pretty much screeched as she jumped in front of him, standing close to his face. Izuku reeled backwards multiple inches, startled at the sudden pink blob that entered his field of vision. He then looks around for a possible escape, and notices that some desks were left empty, so people left, and by the looks of it, so did Katsuki. Izuku doesn't feel like dealing with the angry Pomeranian, so seeing the latter's desk empty was like a blessing. Shinso walked up to the greenette, noticing the latter's gaze linger on the empty desk of the one who sent him to the infirmary. He left 10 minutes ago, Shinso told his friend. Good, Izuku said. What? Shinso asks, surprised. Thought you'd want to talk to him in typical Midoriya Izuku fashion? No, I'm good, Izuku tells him. I dealt enough with the angry Pomeranian. The lilac-haired insomniac laughs a bit at the last part. I feel like I'm contaminating you, he admits. And maybe you are, Chad. Hey, I'm the one doing the memes. Oh really? And so the next day comes and you're going to pick a class president. Aizawa-sensei tells his kids' class. That's a super normal high school activity. Would have liked to say that it comes and goes, but there's this and some minor inconvenience that happened this morning with reporters that know no restraint. Whatever. Voice over voice piped up, claiming a desire to be a leader. Bakugu was particularly loud. Todoroki, Midoriya, and Hitoshi were some of the silent ones, the second actually seeming to be nervous. Hitoshi can understand that. After all, how to not be nervous in this class of yelling teenagers that most likely can identify with excited puppies? Attention, everyone! Ida calls out. A leader must be ready to handle the responsibility and must be chosen by others who judge them to be capable of taking care of the heavy task of being a class president. You say that, but you're the one who raised their hand the highest, Kaminari points out. I just realized so. But I suggest we make use of a vote. Ida exclaims. If that's okay with you, Aizawa-sensei? He asks, looking towards where Aizawa is currently preparing his sleeping bag for the daily, or hourly, catnap. Do whatever, Aizawa unfolds the yellow monstrosity. I don't care, he gets in it, just don't take long. Catnap commence. Alright. It is decided, we'll hold a vote. The vote ended with Ida at 4 votes, Yaoyorozu at 3, and Midoriya at 2. Hitoshi voted for Midoriya. Part because it was fairly easy to become friends with him without getting judged for something beyond his control, like his quirk, part, like the amazing friend that I am, I want to make you suffer, and also because the plot dictates. Hitoshi has no idea what that means, though. He sees his friend, who is sat just in front of him, sag in his chair in relief, seeming content with the only votes he got. The insomniac leans over. If only you had gotten 6 votes. There's no, if only right now, Midoriya replies. If I had gotten the role of class president, I would have freaked out. I'm not good for it. Nonsense, Hitoshi states. Yes, very much so sense. Not at all sense. We sense. In the background, Aoyama sneezes. Hitoshi and Midoriya turn around to look at the probably fake French student. He detected it. He totally detected it. Are you sure? Midoriya asks. Maybe it was a coincidence? Hitoshi takes his phone out, goes on Google Translate, and translates a sentence from Japanese to French. He plays the automated voice. Voulez-vous de croissants au ma baguette japonaise? Aoyama sneezes at each word. Midoriya repeats the sentence in the same voice as the robot, and Aoyama sneezes again. Hitoshi and his friend look at each other. Izuku is at lunch with Shinso when the alarm blares. There has been a level 3 security breach. A chorus of, "What?" sounded around the cafeteria. All students please evacuate outdoors promptly. One of the upperclassmen stands up quickly. There's an intruder. Wait, really? Izuku asks. I repeat. The other students at the table, excluding Izuku and Shinso, get up and quickly part away from where they left their food. There has been a level 3 security breach. The greenette and his lilac-haired friend stand up more calmly, mostly because the alarm said promptly and not in chaos. It can't only be a villain. All students please evacuate outdoors promptly. Maybe it's the media? Shinso suggests, they've been crowded ever since this morning at 8 a.m. They've not even left 30 minutes after. Oh, shucks dash, Izuku twirls around to face the first window that points to the entrance gate. His eyes land on one, though that one is pretty far away. He looks for a closer floor-to-ceiling glass pane and goes towards it, Shinso following his lead. He looks down to the gate and sees that, indeed, a crowd of media reporters has infiltrated. But the most unsettling thing is that the gate is just gone. It was awfully easy to get those idiots to distract UA's staff. Just disintegrate an obstacle that stops them from reaching the ability to fulfill their quest for information, and voila. He's scanning the halls for the faculty room now, searching for a schedule that could hint towards getting a hit on his objective. Getting a hit on the boss of this video game. He's avoiding the cafeteria. Noisy brats and all. What's up with the gate? Shinso asks, seeming unsettled. Why didn't it stay closed? I don't know, Izuku pauses. We have to get the other students to calm down. They won't listen to us though? You're right, but... Shinso urges. What if I connect to the intercom system? It's a big enough device as it's spread around the school, even if it must have a central point. I can reach it from here and attempt to project my voice around the school to get them to calm down. But there's also the fact that I have to clear all misunderstandings before they panic even further because a stranger's voice just happened to get broadcast on the most secure school of Japan speakers, which is a pretty big concern considering that a quirk like mine is unheard of and... We don't have time, Midoriya. Shinso cuts Izuku's muttering off. Just, do your thing, okay? Izuku nods to Shinso. He found the faculty room. The greenette touches his phone to connect to it, then finds other devices in the school. And he finds the closest speaker and connects to it. Oops, maybe he didn't just connect to one. He tries to speak just by thinking but he doesn't see Shinso reacting to it. Maybe if he talked normally? He opens his mouth and starts a sentence, and at the first words things start to calm down. Hey, everyone. You don't have to worry. It's just the media. There's nothing to worry about. It hurts to lie. He hears a kid's voice over the intercom. He wants to laugh. There's nothing to worry about. Pausa. Shoyuta hears his student Midoriya's voice over the intercom. It's not okay, but for now it is the best way to calm them down, but not one that he himself would choose. It is still the most accessible to Midoriya, though. How about we all calm down? Izuku suggests to the crowd. He fidgets under all the stares that have turned around to finally settled on the one who seems to speak directly into the speakers by just doing the sounds with his actual mouth. Any of them seem to look out the window to see that, indeed, the media crowded onto the UA school grounds. The huge gathering of students then seems to calm down, or so Izuku thinks. At least he hopes they do. The rest of lunchtime passes without any more inconveniences for Izuku and his friend. But also for him. Mission achieved. They come back into class after the chaos that happened at lunchtime. Izuku is still nervous from the previous events. He succeeded, yes, but that took a lot of energy out of him. He's really not used to talking in front of crowds, even if he does not have a lot of reasons to be nervous. He's like his mom. Kinda. He takes his seat in front of Shinso, who just seems to be equally exhausted as Izuku, but that's kind of hard to say since, well, the guy always seems exhausted. Ever-present eye bags and hair defying gravity accentuates the look of, I've never slept once in my life, that Shinso wears. Aizawa-sensei enters the classroom, and the green-haired protagonist sees Ida walk up to him and talk about something. Izuku is way too tired to really try to decode what Ida could have been saying. At some point, he feels and sees the stern glance of his teacher wash over him, and Izuku naturally tenses up. Did Ida report him to Aizawa for what he did? Oh no, was what he did the wrong thing to do? Is he going to be expelled for it, or? Some minutes after everyone has entered the classroom, Aizawa-sensei speaks up. Ida, come up to the front and say your announcement. Ida does as told, and after seconds of silence, he starts. Following the events that ensued today at lunchtime, I choose to give my position as class president to Midoriya, for he was more competent than I at calming down our class and co-inhabiting students. Izuku, for lack of better term, is startled. What? Did Ida say that he, Izuku, the most nervous of them all, was better at leading or even calming down people than him? Well, wait. That's not true. I just pieced things together with the help of Shinso. Someone had to calm them down. I just knew that I could do something. Your Izuku evolved into stutter mess. Nonsense. I believe you are fit for the responsibility of being class president. Even if you do not have the confidence now, you'll be able to gain it over the days. You will do the task more justice than I am able. Ida reciprocated, bowing slightly to accentuate his sentence. Izuku thinks it over. Sure, he might become a spying hero in the future, but leading for a year shouldn't be too bad. Besides, it's as Ida said. Confidence doesn't appear just like that, it gets built. Maybe he should accept the proposition? He hesitates. How is he going to do? What if everyone decides he's not decent enough? Do it, Shinso whispers to him from behind. Yeah, maybe he could do it after all. Oh, I accept the position, Ida. Applause sounds from around the class, being the product of the clapping hands of the excitable members of the class. The nicknamed Baku Squad seems to root for him in one way or another, except for Bakugo, of course. You go, speaker. Siro says. More like intercom, no? Ashido suggests to Siro. How about project? Kaminari chimes in. No, intercom and speaker are better. Jiro tells the electric blonde. Or voice. It's cool, no? Kaminari once again says. Yeah, maybe he can do it. Maybe. 10. Tamura comes out of the warp gate, back at the base. He has the upcoming UA school trip schedule in his phone. The schedule of the USJ. Which is really just Universal Studios Japan according to the acronym. It says that All Might should be there, which is the perfect opportunity for possibly destroying the hero. Have you found a way to get to your objective, Shigaraki? His right-hand man, Kurogiri, asks. Yeah, I did. We have to gather as many villains as possible, whether it be thugs or punks. Tamura pauses to scratch a bit at his itchy skin. All Might? Your downfall is soon. Izuku is nerve-sighted. Okay, maybe he shouldn't use that word too often. It sounds pretty weird. But that word is what Izuku is like 3/4 of the time. Right now, it's because of the upcoming school trip. They are going to learn more about the main reason heroes exist. Saving people. It has been 2 days since he became class president, and in those 2 days, he had the first council meeting and boy was he nervous. His meeting with Kendo Itsuka, 1BS class president, went a bit like this. Hi. I'm Midoriya Izuku. Are you okay? Kendo had asked. Why yeah. Hope we get along this year in working together as class presidents. Long story short, it was a mess. But it's okay now because... Please enter the bus calmly everyone. You can sit with your friends, I won't impose numbers. Sometime after the day he got sent to the infirmary by Katsuki, he requested an electric cable wheel as a capture weapon, which he got yesterday. Kaminari. Please don't run in. Izuku calls out to the electric blonde. Oh right, sorry. Kaminari replies before going in calmly. We dodged a bullet right there. He goes inside the bus when it's his turn, and they begin the ride to their destination. At one point, the students in the class started talking about who's the most likely to get popular. Clearly Bakugo won't be popular, Karo. Ashui said. What did you say? Katsuki roared back. See. Shut up. You're making it worse for yourself, man. Kirishima says, and somehow, someway, it makes Katsuki go quiet. If we were to talk about appealing quirks that could get one popular though, Ashui started, I'd say Midoriya, because the technology fans could really get a kick out of it. But he can't just be defined by his quirk, there's also how friendly he is to absolutely anyone, Karo. Izuku starts, and many eyes turn to him. I actually never wanted to be known. I've always worked for a future in underground spying heroics ever since my quirk manifested. He admits to those who haven't heard this speech before. At the front, Aizawa Shoyuta sneezes. Did someone tell you that he sneezes like a kitten? If no, thank God, because then you haven't been contacted by an ignorant fool. Shinso, who is sat next to Izuku, speaks up when his friend is faced with silence, which mostly stems from the need of confirmation. The first time I met him, which was way before the entrance exams for your information, he also told me the same thing. What a great goal, Midoriya! Ida exclaims. I'm certain that you'll be able to succeed in reaching it. Izuku is happy. And so the bus stops at the USJ. Izuku tightens his grip on his new Hero Ing backpack straps in nervousness and excitement, the usual mix of emotions he feels. Oh my God! We're about to learn what to do in different rescue situations. It is said to have many settings. They get off the bus and approach the entrance to the facility where the space hero stands. Hello everyone. 13 greets the group. It's the space hero, 13. They specialize in rescue. They're my favorite hero. Uraraka exclaims. Maybe it's from where she got inspiration for her hero costume? Izuku tells himself. The class looked at their surroundings, amazed at all the sections. This is my facility, where you will learn how to safely rescue and evacuate civilians from any battlefield area or natural disaster. I have dubbed it. 13 dramatically pauses, the unforeseen simulation joint. USJ for short. It's totally Universal Studios Japan. Kaminari says. While the class talked with each other, Aizawa approached 13, asking with a low voice something that Izuku couldn't catch. However, 13 answered with 3 fingers held up. That told the green-haired hero student everything he needed to know. All Might has used up his time. Before we start though, it's soon time for us to go, Tamura. I have 2 things to say. Or 4. 6. That's a lot, the class probably all thought. Have the recruits been notified? I'll just start saying it. 13 decides. Yes. As you know, I'm a pro hero, meaning I use my quirk to save people. But even so, silence. If not mastered and controlled, my quirk, black hole, can also easily kill. That got dark really fast. In order to make it safe for everyone, we learn to control our quirks in a way that can make it non-lethal for us and others. That's what we'll be learning today. Izuku is distracted. The Nomu? Really distracted. How to save people in settings that can be disadvantageous for you. I hope you'll learn all you need to know from this. 13 finishes. Ready. Applause rings out. 13 bows saying, thank you, to the class. It's time for the symbol of peace to meet his end. Kurogiri, we are ready. The lights flicker for a moment, and Izuku feels some kind of disturbance in the air, already knowing something is wrong. He looks around and spots it. Aizawa-sensei, what is that? Asked Izuku, pointing at an area in the USJ becoming darker and darker than the surroundings. Aizawa looked towards where his student is pointing, then warned the class with a, stay back. Did it start already? Kaminari asked. These are real villains. Kaminari, are you able to contact the school? Kaminari taps the communicator and exclaims after a few tries, it ain't working. Someone's jamming the communications. Hold on dash, Izuku says as Aizawa curses and jumps down to meet the now present villains. He touches his pocket device. Electrospace. He jumps into the blue binary code flood and finds a literal black hole BLO ocking the stirring. Holy YYCCP. He shoots electricity AT the blah aak ho OLE, BUT gets kicked AWI. Idu is cessant war K he has T011011F011010010110110D and 0110110110H01100101 R0110110110000010111001. Cold. Electrospace. He comes back to being in water. He feels really glad that his whole costume is waterproof. Wait, I'm in water. He swims up, but he's not going to be quick enough. He needs out. Oh look, a shark, wait, sheet, swim. he's grabbed by something and pulled out of the water that was previously meticulously planning his death, hitting at every little gap leading to his lungs. Not that it has a brain. He's placed on a hard surface, and now able to breathe correctly, even if his mask has kept most of the water away. He opens his eyes again to find Azui and Shinso over him. "You okay there?" asked Shinso. What is the word for it? "Yeah, earlier, you were pretty much bugging out." "Huh." Izuku sits up. "You kept switching between blue numbers and hologram. I have no idea if that meant good or bad." Izuku just ignores him and looks down at the water. At first glance, he saw that the placement of the shark villains, shark-related quirks, and other species too, spelled out, next whirl. Whatever that means. "Wait, don't be scared. This is just my quirk. I'm somewhere right now. But I was able to go into this phone you're holding," the guy in the phone explains. XXX feels suddenly more relieved. He'd just like to know why this guy is in the phone right now. And so I'll explain later. There's people coming in your area. He shakes his head. What's up with him lately? Wait, now the question is why they are on this boat. He turns to Shinso and Azui. How did we get here? There's that spooky villain that has a warp gate quirk, and he's named Kurojiri. He warped us here, Ribbit. That makes sense. He looks back at the villains, who are waiting for them to do something apparently. This almost too easy, this job's gonna be fast. Don't underestimate them, they're hero students of the best hero school. Izuku turns to Shinso, pointing at the villain who was bragging about the job being too easy. Shinso gets the message, and tweaks the settings on his mask as they hear the villains continuing to talk. I'm telling you, we'll catch them like fish in a fishnet. They all fall into the trap. Shinso holds his head a bit as if he had a headache. Swim towards us, and when we get on you, you're going to bring Azui, Midoriya, and I to the shore. Call me Tsu, Ribbit. They climbed down a ladder they found, and all got on 3 separate aquatic villains, who brought them to the shore. Then they fled before Shinso had to break his grip on the villains. Izuku looks at the cruise area, at the aquatic villains who surely have no idea what just happened. He then looks back at his 2 teammates for maybe rescuing this. We should help our other classmates. Don't tell me we're going to literally talk villains into surrendering. We're going to literally talk villains into surrendering and help people. Find our teachers too. We don't have to look that far, Ribbit. Azui sounds fearful. She's staring at something, a place where a lot of sound can be heard but that Izuku thought was normal. He searches for what she might be staring at, and that thing. It's huge. But why is its brain peeking out? It's creepy. He approaches a bit, and sees some kind of hand villain fighting Aizawa-sensei. The villain disintegrates the teacher's elbow. Izuku's eyes widen, and Azui ribbits nervously. Shinso stares, his eyes being the only indication of fear. That creature's walking towards him, whispered Shinso. We have to help. Mido-kun, it's dangerous. Izuku throws electricity at the creature anyway, right before it touches Aizawa. It doesn't do much, except get the attention of Hand Guy. Let's get out of here. Shinso prompts them, but seeing as they won't flee, he grabs the one who screwed up, named Izuku, and Azui, and gets them to flee with him. They hear a crack, a painfully loud crack. Izuku wants to cry. I can't cry now. I have to stay strong for them. They hear shouting and explosions. Oh God, Katsuki's going to die. Izuku turns back around and runs to the scene. Midoriya! Shinso shouts. He doesn't care. He's going to risk it if it means saving people. When he arrives on the scene, he finds both the explosive blonde and Todoroki. Instead of meddling with them, he goes get Aizawa. He somewhat picks him up, though it is really hard to do that. Aizawa is a grown man, and Izuku is a kid. All he can do is bring him to safety. Instead, he takes some of the cable from his backpack and attaches it on Aizawa, and to himself. He's then able to bring his teacher to a safe spot. Then, he hears an explosion coming from somewhere else than Katsuki. Right after, very familiar words ring. Fear not, why? Because I am here. All Might has arrived. He's extending his time limit. Needless to say, Toshinori was feral. Who do those villains think they are? Attacking a class full of children? They might be 15, some close to reaching 16, it doesn't give them a reason for what they did. As he arrived on scene, he saw just how much the place was chaos. Young Bakugo and young Todoroki were currently trying to beat some kind of creature to the ground and getting pushed away by it. He has to intervene quickly. The other heroes will take care of the other villains. Fear not, why? Because I am here. As he said his catchphrase, unsmiling, he ripped his tie. He then dived in, pushing young Bakugo out of the way while young Todoroki already backed off. I swear this hand villain just took a selfie. He rushed at that villain with a Carolina smash, but the bulky thing absorbed the blow. Nomu, the hand villain, said, "Attack him." Apparently, the monster's name is Nomu. It approached Toshinori and attempted at punching him, but he dodged. He then punched the Nomu at 50%. It did not budge. Alright then. 60%. Not yet. 70%. It gives no reaction. 80%. It can't be that powerful, let's go at 90% this time. He coughs up a bit of blood. I'm extending my time limit. It doesn't give any reaction. Let's go 100%. It destroys the black skin on the Nomu's arm and some of its muscle fibers. Except it regrows back. Would you see that, All Might? This Nomu has specifically engineered quirks, such as super regeneration and shock absorption. It was made to bring the symbol of peace down. All in all, it can be called the anti-symbol of peace. The hand villain said, "Shock absorption?" He started rapidly punching the Nomu. "What are you doing, All Might? Didn't I just tell you that it has shock absorption? It will do nothing." Shock absorption does not mean nullify. The Nomu is starting to bend over. Wait. It's time for the 100% punch. You know nothing. He punched the Nomu one last time, thus successfully launching it out of the USJ by creating a hole in the dome. No. No. A man made of black purplish mist approached the hand villain. "Shigaraki, the heroes have arrived. We have to go." The one named Shigaraki contemplates the decision, then says to Toshinori, "We are not done here. Next time, I'll come back with a better plan to bring you down." Then he went. Many students were harmed by this group calling themselves the League of Villains. Pro-hero Eraserhead was severely injured to the head, several bones broken, and disintegrated skin. Pro-hero 13 lost the lower half of their body. The sound is everywhere. Reporters buzz about, knowing full well they probably shouldn't. Izuku was found 10 minutes ago. He didn't get too hurt, compared to Aizawa-sensei. His teacher was put on a stretcher and immediately brought to an ambulance, where the paramedics did what necessary for the black-haired man to last the ride to the hospital. Midoriya? He still feels incredibly guilty though. He couldn't get there fast enough for Aizawa-sensei to not get his arms broken. People keep telling him it isn't his fault, but Midokun, you're staring off into space. What if it is? Midoriya, wake up. Shinso taps his shoulder. I didn't use my quirk on you, but it's as if I did. It's worrying. Oh, sorry. Izuku says. Azui stares at him with her wide eyes, and Shinso just looks at him with worry. You seem pretty thoughtful, right now, and worried as well. Is there something wrong, Midokun? The green-haired teen stays silent for a moment. No, I don't think so. I'm just lost in my thoughts. The froggy girl doesn't really seem to believe him, whereas Shinso shrugs. If you say so, analytics extraordinaire. Analytics extraordinaire? Forget it. No, I'm curious. That's rough, buddy. Izuku. Inko basically cries as Izuku enters the apartment. Izuku starts crying as well. IW is so worried. I heard what happened. You could have died right then and there. Inko hugs him tightly, still sobbing. Please, be careful from now on. You're not going to pull me out? Izuku asks his mom. No. Why would I? Inko stops hugging him, taking him by the shoulders and looking at him in the eyes. Being a hero, it always has been your dream. I don't want to crush it. Izuku cries again, and so does Inko. They decide to have an all-might anime marathon to cheer each other up. School is called off for the next 3 days. Izuku is honestly at a loss for what to do. On one hand, he could do analysis on his and others' quirks, which is fun, don't get him wrong. He also really wants to talk to Shinso. He has a friend now, it would be nice to actually spend time with him. Buongiorno. Please answer. Shinso. Yeah, I'm here, what's up with the spamming? I just want to talk with you right now. I would just do some quirk analyzing or even programming. But I feel more like talking. Shinso. Big relatable, I just have nothing to do. A minute passes. Shinso. Would you like to hang out or? Does he? Screwy. He does. Sure. Where do we meet? Shinso. Wait for me at X. Izuku arrived at said location. It was a small park, out of place in the more city-centered surroundings. Compared to what's around, the small park had quite the number of trees. The green-haired teen started by waiting at the spot he arrived at, then decided, maybe he will explore a bit. So, he decided to try to guess the names of the trees around him. Practiced the reach of his quirk a bit too. Turns out, this part of town doesn't have much security aside from a few sensor-based anti-theft technologies. Midoriya hey. Shinso says from just 7 feet away. Oh hi, Shinso. Izuku greets his most likely insomniac friend. I discovered there isn't much anti-crime technologies around here aside from a few anti-theft ones. Shinso snickers. This early on with the tech? I thought you weren't feeling it today. Not. Completely incorrect. The hacker boy argues. That's a part of me I always feel like talking about the wonders of computer science and other accompanying subjects. It is only that today I just feel like socializing. A little bit. A little bit, Shinso repeats. Oh, Midoriya, you wound me. He dramatically exclaims. What? Dim, poor him not be getting it yet? You said you wanted to talk. You haven't mentioned who and it feels like you only wanted to socialize, and probably not even with me. I'm literally hurt. Izuku couldn't help himself, then so be it. Shinso gasps in an over-the-top manner. No. It can't be, you've been infected by internet culture. There's no going back. I swam already too far and I can't go back to the shore, but deal with it. It isn't so bad anyway. I refuse to believe it. The two teens are silent for a moment, then just burst into laughter. This is so dumb. Yeah, Shinso agrees. Well, I asked you wait for me here because I wanted to show you this one place I really like. The smaller of the two seems to be more listening at that moment, and what is it? My favorite cat cafe. Wait, what dash? They entered the cat cafe. There are 2 sections. The smaller one, where you order what you want to eat, or even buy some cat-related things such as enamel pins, sweaters, stickers. There's a shelf with some of those things on display near the entrance to the counter, which is on the right of said shelf. On the wall to the left of the display shelf sits 2 corkboards next to each other, along with smaller blackboards. On the corkboards are pinned many pictures of many cats, the blackboard saying, "Thanks for supporting us. 996 kitties saved." There are a few tables along with a barely used coat hanger, of course larger than those you would have at your home. Meanwhile, the front of the store has a few windows, the entrance facing the air in front of the windows, from the point of view of a client who's inside. The wall the door is aligned with without going through has a few windows as well, showing the inside of the second part of the cat cafe. A door leads to it, although you must go through another to go into the second part. It might be to prevent the cats from potentially leaving the cat area. The second part has multiple cat trees, 3 tables, a wall bench and a small couch. Some windows also are on the outer wall the cat section sees. There are some cat shelves on the wall in front of the inner window wall. There's a door in the back, leading to what's beyond the wall next to the one the cat shelves are using up. It's cozy looking, and it certainly does feel like it as well. Izuku looks at the menu as they wait their turn to reach the counter. As a drink, he could have green tea, cappuccino, a la. There were various choices. As for the snacks, he will go with the cat paw-themed cookies. Maybe he should take green tea? Hot chocolate seems nice too. He can't choose. So, did you choose? Shinso asks him. I don't know what to take for a drink. Well, take one choice first. The other, take it next time we come here. Shinso helpfully supplies. I'll go with hot chocolate this time then. With a cat paw cookie. Good choice, I like your style. The taller teenager tells his shorter friend. What's up with you and saying things like this today? Izuku asks, then quickly explains right after, not that I complain. It's just, it feels weird. I don't know, I'm just in the mood, stated Shinso. It was then their turn to the counter. Hello. The lady at the counter greets them. What will you take today? A raspberry rose latte and cat paw cookies. Shinso told the older woman. Hot chocolate and also cat paw cookies, please. Izuku says. Alright, you can wait here. They wait in silence until the lady sets down the mugs with their respective drinks. Would you like admission to the cat lounge? She asks. Yes, Shinso says as he takes out his purse and gets out the required money for what they got and the admission to the cat lounge. It will be 1,366.55 yen, 232.85 of that total was for the admission. 17.60 in CD, 12.71 in USD. The insomniac gives the money, and Izuku just knows he'll have to maybe get Shinso something for that. He doesn't want his friend to waste any money on him. He feels guilty enough. Have a good time here. The lady tells them as they take their drinks and snacks and go to the cat lounge. A table was free, so they decide to sit down at it. They are quiet for a moment, only appreciating their drinks. Then Izuku decides to break the silence. This hot chocolate is really good. Wait until you try out their raspberry rose latte. It's pure heaven. Shinso tells him. Achim. Izuku stares at Shinso for a moment, then the drink his friend has. Can I try it? Can you what now? Ugh. Izuku just hides behind his mug. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Want to try it, maybe? I shouldn't ask that of you. I guess I'll just try next time. No. It's okay. He reassures Izuku. Sure. But don't drink all of it. It's still my drink and my drink only. Which means I get to drink the most of it. You really don't mind? The green-haired boy asks as he looks at Shinso again. Well, what did I just say? Of course, I don't. But as I said, don't take all of it. Izuku puts down his mug as Shinso passes his own, which the former happily tastes a bit. Wow, it's really good. What did I tell you? Tired the two replies. It's heaven. Can I pretend I tried it by myself? The broccoli asks. Nah, I'm going to take all the credit for this one. No. I have pride and you crushed it? Not fun. Cats can heal your pride. Shinso tells his friend. They're great therapy. I would know it since I've experienced it firsthand. I think I like cats more than you now. How could it be? My friend likes a cat more than me. I am wounded once again. I'll take that back. There's a bit of silence as Izuku mulls over the next words he'll say. He watches a black and white three-pawed cat run around in the playing area, surely playing with a toy of some sort. Shinso? Yup, that's me. Shinso replies. Come on, I'll just go and say it. Can we be, best friends? What are you talking about? We're already best friends. On the way back home with Shinso, he just remembers the calm time he had with his friend. Cats really are therapeutic animals, especially after a day of stress. They were cute, and some were even fluffy. He had a great time. They just joke until Shinso decides to go his own way from there. I'll see you later, Midoriya. See you later too, Shinso. He rushes up the stairs to his apartment as his cat-loving friend rushes on the roads to his own home. He goes into his house with a smile on his face. If his mom asked a few times that evening why he was not responding after the few times she called his name, don't mention it. He isn't too aware. He's too happy to be aware of it. The day they went back to school, Izuku was buzzing with worried energy, again. And as he went to school, he just knew that left and right devices in his close range turned on and off regardless of if they lacked the power to do so. He couldn't help it. The last time they had went to school, they went on a field trip that brought not only experience but also legit fear of death, accentuated by the fact they actually could have died right there and then on the spot. And his teacher got absolutely destroyed. He arrived through the gate of UA and found Shinso waiting for him at the stairs, playing on his phone. Of course, it is of no surprise when the teen suddenly yells at his phone, presumably for closing randomly on him, then actually being surprised when it opens, then turns off again. Come on. Shinso is losing his patience, which is quite unusual. He hasn't noticed Izuku yet. Sorry, I'm feeling really nervous. Izuku said, I can just feel every device turning on and off and off and on and off and on off on off on off on off. Shinso just stares at him. And it's making me even more nervous because maybe they were doing something important and this happening probably stopped them from doing what they wanted to do and now they're mad and angry and they don't know that it's me, but maybe they'd find out it's not impossible. They'd probably find out that a kid with a technology-based quirk came in their general area and… Calm down, Midoriya, holy shit. Shinso exclaims, absolutely stupefied. It's not the end of the world, you know? Izuku finally calms down. I know. But I'm still nervous. As usual, Shinso says, come on, let's go to class. Izuku nods as his friend walks up the stairs, and Izuku follows. By the way, Shinso starts, I don't blame you for the phone thing, okay? You're just nervous. That's normal. We almost got sent to the land of the non-existing. I am in no place to judge you, he finishes what he said with a shrug. Okay, Izuku smiles a bit, thanks. No problem. And then Izuku starts speedwalking. I can't run so I'm going to speedwalk. The first who arrives to the classroom, Tash. Are you serious? Absolutely. In the classroom they just talk. Classmates around them have expressed their worry about what happened some days ago, and Izuku. He's worried about everything, especially about Aizawa-sensei. The teacher had been brutally beaten by this big creature that had its brain exposed. Surely he won't come back to teach yet? The door of the classroom opens to let in a living black-haired mummy, a being that is not supposed to come here so soon. Ida stands up, cutting through the air with his hand. Aizawa-sensei, shouldn't you be resting in the hospital? You are not supposed to walk around this early. Izuku also stands up, this time looking at Ida. Technically, he's only teaching us, not doing physical activities. So, it should be okay for him to teach. Oh, right. Please forgive me, Aizawa-sensei. Ida bows as he sits back down in his seat. I didn't need you to explain it, Midoriya, but alright, Aizawa-sensei says. Is he even talking? Should it rather be called mumbling? Izuku feels his face heat up as he certainly does feel embarrassed now, and so he sits down, if only to hide his face. Katsuki, who's sitting in front of Izuku, is just smirking. And behind Midoriya, Hitoshi is feeling bad for his friend. Aizawa-sensei walks to the front of the classroom, before the podium, and he looks up. His eyes may be hidden from view by the massive amount of bandages. Everyone knew he was looking at all of them. The fight is not over yet. That set everyone into a panic. Izuku just knew it. Well, at least it didn't set Katsuki in a panic. Instead, the explosive blonde muttered, fight, as if it was a tasty word. He still braced himself for what Aizawa-sensei would say next. The UA Sports Festival is drawing near. And then everyone got excited. That's a super normal school event. Kirishima exclaimed, but before he could finish his sentence, Kaminari pushed his face away as to shut him up. Wait a minute, the electricity user said. Is it okay to have a sports festival so soon after the villains snuck inside? Jiro, who sat next to Kaminari, asked. What if they attack us again or something? Ojiro asked as well. Aizawa-sensei doesn't waste time before answering that question. Apparently, they think of it as UA showing that our crisis management system is solid as a rock by holding the event. Security will also be strengthened to 5 times that of previous years. Above all, our sports festival is a huge chance. It's not an event to be cancelled because of a few villains. If a midget had existed, you would have heard him say something right now, but not in this universe. Our sports festival is one of Japan's biggest events. In the past, the Olympics were called a festival of sports, and the whole country was crazy about them. As you know, with reductions in scale and population, they're now a shell of their former glory. And now, for Japan, what has taken the place of those Olympics is the UA Sports Festival. Of course, all the top heroes around the country will be watching, Yayarosa says, for scouting purposes. She seems determined. After we graduate, it's typical to join a pro agency as a sidekick, Kaminari says, throwing a thumbs up at Jiro. Said girl replies, a lot of people lose their chance to become independent after that and become eternal sidekicks, though. She turns to Kaminari, and boy, she should at least feel a bit of guilt after this statement. Kaminari, I feel like you'd be one of them. Since you're dumb. Izuku can hear Shinso trying too hard not to laugh out loud, and Izuku doesn't know whether to cry or to join in restraining laughter. Aizawa-sensei saves him from doing so, though, of course, joining a famous hero agency will get you more experience and popularity. Time is limited. If you expect to go pro, then the path to your future will open up at this event. 1 chance a year, a total of just 3 chances. No aspiring heroes can afford to miss this event. If you understand that, then don't slack off on your preparations. A chorus of, yes sir, can be heard. Homeroom is dismissed. And so, lunchtime comes around, and Cementos, their teacher from modern literature, exits the classroom, leaving the students behind. Even though all that stuff happened, I'm getting really excited. The redhead, was it Kirishima? Exclaims. Honestly, Hitoshi should pay more attention to the names of his classmates. And, he tries, they just flee his head every time. Just like he fails at paying attention to that, he doesn't pay attention to what is really said around him. He's just looking around. The room reeks with nervous or excited energy, and sometimes even bloodlust. Though, he pretty much believes that bloodlust comes from Bakugo. He sees Midoriya walking around in a circle being absolutely stressed out, already strategizing for the sports festival and thinking ahead, and now Hitoshi is getting distracted by the blonde French wannabe posing for what might be the 56th time this day. He doesn't even know. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Midoriya, Ida-kun, a voice growled out, and that person should definitely not be able to do that. Hitoshi turns around, and it took a big amount of control to not let anything show on his face, because oh boy is Uraraka intimidating. Let's do our best at the sports festival, Uraraka said. Midoriya, of course, gets freaked out. Uraraka, your face? That's... Ida is holding his glasses to see better, astonished by the face Uraraka has hidden from them. Hitoshi is about to lose self-control over his laughter, as the completely pink girl comes from behind them and asks, what's the matter? You don't look carefree at all, even though that's what your name means. Uraraka anchors herself to the floor as she pumps her fist in the air. Everyone, I'm gonna do my best. It at least gets Hitoshi, Midoriya, Ida, completely pink girl, and Tsuyu he remembers her name because she asked to be called a nickname who's nearby all fired up, yeah. Uraraka turns around to the other group that was watching, doing that same pose, I'm gonna do my best. They're all pretty intimidated, so they don't sound as enthusiastic when they agree. Uraraka continues saying that she will do her best. Later, everyone is at lunch, and Hitoshi is just eating as Midoriya still nervously rambles. Hitoshi looks at his friend, so, I can see you're excited for the sports festival. I'm nervous again, like extremely nervous. Before Hitoshi says anything, Midoriya continues, and I refuse to calm down. Why is that? Anxiety is my only source of energy. I don't want to run solely on caffeine. Hitoshi raises an eyebrow, then smirks. Come to the dark side. Pros, we got kittens, memes, vines, friendship, anime. Oh god no, Midoriya says without any actual seriousness. Cons, sleep deprivation, but we can deal with that by using caffeine. I am not joining you, the green-haired personification of the simple word anxiety says loud and clearly, smiling like an idiot. I promise you, we are not a cult. Please don't quote Pizza Time Pizza. Society will lie to you. Hitoshi says, voice cracking as he laughs from the absurdity of it all. Midoriya joins in, laughing as well. Then, Uraraka and Ida find their table, and the first one asks, hey, can we eat at your table? Midoriya nods quickly, of course. And Hitoshi doesn't really care, they can do what they want. It's not as if the table belonged to him and his friend. Uraraka and Ida sit down, Uraraka being next to Midoriya and Ida next to Hitoshi. What were you talking about? Oh, nothing important. We were just joking around, Hitoshi tells them. How are you, Ida? Midoriya asks. I already know Uraraka is feeling competitive. I feel like I could beat Bakugo. Uraraka confirms. Whoa there, ambitious much. Hitoshi thinks, amused. I am feeling quite alright, Midoriya. Ida replied. How about you? I'm extremely nervous, Midoriya replied. To the power of 10,000, if I may add, Hitoshi said, continuing Midoriya's statement. Channel that nervous energy. Crush it. Uraraka pipes up, still feeling as competitive as earlier. Ida, Hitoshi and Midoriya all stare, still surprised by this face she revealed. In the future, but technically before. Who's coming in my area, though? KXAX asks the guy on the phone. Don't ask, just do as I say. Take your things, hide or run away. KXAX does as he is told, picking up every little bit of scrap, including the 2 new broken phones and the current one he has found, and fleeing with them. Thanks to the weird ability that is him not having a presence, he successfully flees, and even if those strange men were supposed to see him, they haven't. He is unsuspected. More running later, he finds himself a bit more near the hideout he shares with his 2 friends, and the phone pipes up again. So, what's your name? The voice said. Should I even trust you? Should I trust you? Fair enough, KXX says. My name is KXXSimXX. What's yours? My name is I. I 222 I 222 223 I